Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright. How's it going? We're starting the final trial today. Yeah, the final trial because we're on chapter 8, so there's only 9 chapters. So it should be only 2 more parts of this, hopefully. We kind of started midway through the chapter technically last time, or stopped midway through chapter last time. But it was mostly, last part was kind of weird with some like weirdly short chapters and then like an extra long chapter, which was this chapter. But so we're not quite at the trial yet. We still have a little bit to go before it, but that is the plan, is to finish the trial today. Hopefully everyone's looking forward to it. I don't remember exactly when the big reveal is, but the twist is coming up very soon. So stay tuned for that. Luke and I began making our way to the Storyteller's Tower, where we hope to begin our search for clues straight away. We learned that Inquisitor Barnum told his dog Constantine that the tower is home to the darkest and most hidden of secrets. We haven't much time before the start of Miss Cantabella's trial. Come, Luke. We must make our way to this guard post and into the tower. So the trial's very close to starting. I mean, they're getting everything set. They got this big fancy outdoor courtroom, which, I don't know, has that ever been done before? Probably not. That seems a little weird. But I mean, it's a big event. This is supposed to be the trial to end all witch trials, after all. Professor? What is it, my boy? What do you think about what happened tonight? On the surface, it certainly did appear that the storyteller's assailant could be none other than a speller. But surely not. However, even if it did seem that way, that does not necessarily make it the truth. And if it transpires that the speller is in fact innocent, then there must be some form of contradiction or proof to support as much. Yes, you're right. I'll bet Mr. Wright won't even miss the slightest shred of evidence. Mr. Wright and Maya are investigating the scene of the crime as we speak. We, meanwhile, must search for something to prove his speller's innocence. In doing so, the truth should become evident as a matter of course. I see. Well, in the time that I've spent with the speller, I've never once doubted her character. There's just no way she could do anything as terrible as what happened in that square. I believe in her, Professor. I know you do, Luke. We are a speller's friends, and as such we must believe in her. Too right. First, let's make our way through the gate. Uh-oh, the door's still locked. Are there no knights here to open it? Was the dog gonna open it? What's the matter, Constantine? Oh, that's great, thanks. He says there's another way in, which only the knights know about. That's a relief. Could you show us the way, Constantine? I'm guessing this is probably one of our last chances, well, at least for a little while, to, oh, how do we get out of here? Go to Knight's Garrison. Oh, we just go in there. Okay. I thought we had to, like, solve a puzzle or something. It's always a puzzle, and except the one time it's not, which is apparently now. It's like, okay, so you're not the first person to ask that question on stream here, Yonton. Last week someone else pointed out that Layton just looks like a Lego minifigure. He's as round as his top hat. That's probably why he has an affinity for them. They're a perfect fit for his head type. Would have thought Storyteller would come to such an end. Oh yeah, the Storyteller died last week. Yeah, that was like a big deal, I guess. He just kind of let himself get killed. Like, he just stood there and took the dragon head on. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. I'm still finding it hard to believe, even now. I mean, what's become of us? Wish I knew. Well, I'm more worried about Inquisitor Barnum. He's been held on suspicion of treason. Oh, this whole thing is just one big headache. No matter what, the future ain't looking too bright. Enough of your pathetic whining. You call yourselves knights? Oh, it's him. Oh, Captain. The Storyteller's gone. Inquisitor Barnum's gone. Who do you think is suffering the most because of it? The townsfolk, that's who. What's now that they need us the most? We must be there for them to offer our support. Yes, sir. That's certainly true, but With things the way they are, what can we possibly do? Pitiful. Over there! Wasn't that? Ah, shit, we've been spotted. It would appear even the knights are unsettled, my boy. What's going to become of Labyrinthia now? Well, according to the final story, once all this is sorted out, there'll be fresh hope for the future. So it's a little early to be losing heart just yet. Well, I hope you're right. Let's do our best to make it so, Professor. What's this? Someone's coming this way. Isn't that... And what are you two doing here? We're heading for the Storyteller's Tower. There may be something left to uncover, so we're going there now to find out. Did you say the Storyteller's Tower? Uh-oh. I hope this doesn't mean we're about to be surrounded by knights pointing swords at us again. What if it isn't little Constantine? Oh, I see. Well, this must be you're working on behalf of Inquisitor Barnum. Well, in that case, the tower is up ahead. You may proceed. One fact, I insist that you proceed. I have a feeling there's some unfinished business that only you can take care of. For all our sakes, go there and fulfill your quest. And in doing so, show us all that there is still hope for the future of Labyrinthia. Captain? Very well. We shan't let you down. Let's go, Luke. The Storyteller's Tower stands right ahead of us. Right you are, Professor. Look, I can see the tower right over there. But how do we get to it? I believe this way may be where our little friend comes in handy. Wouldn't you say, Luke? Right, of course. I see. You're saying there's a path. He says there's a path leading from behind the audience room, right over to the Storyteller's Tower. One could hardly ask for a better guide. Oh, really? He just said, you've nothing to worry about while I'm here. But then he added, you might want to worry about that Sir Blue Knight, though. I hope Mr. Wright and Maya were able to come across some clues. Sure hope that those clues weren't just taken from under their noses or something. That would be a real shame. I don't think we need to worry too much about them. I'm sure they'll be alright. Wouldn't you agree, my boy? Well, of course, Professor. While I was teaming up with Mr. Wright, one thing became clear to me. He's definitely someone that will always do his best to protect his friends. I agree, Luke. He's a fine young lawyer with a heart of gold. I'm quite confident the trial is safe in his capable hands. Me too. And then there's Maya, always strong and courageous. Not to mention full of energy. She's a bit reckless sometimes, but always with good intent. We're lucky to have them on our side. I'm really glad we met them, aren't you, Professor? Yes, Luke. I certainly would agree with you there. Both Mr. Wright and Miss Fey are friends that can truly be relied upon. But at the same time, High Inquisitor Darklaw will be a most formidable opponent, one unlikely to make any careless slips. Which is why we must all do our best and work together. Including me, right? Of course. I certainly couldn't do this without you, Luke. Don't worry, Professor. I'll give it everything I've got. That's the spirit, my boy. I believe there should be like a puzzle gauntlet, like the final puzzle gauntlet coming up real soon here. Wow, you don't realize how tall the tower is until you see it up close like this. Certainly looks ominous in the moonlight. There's a vital clue waiting for us up here, isn't there, Professor? That's what I'm counting on, Luke. And it would seem that Inquisitor Barnum had the same idea. That would explain why Constantine is helping us. So this is the tower in which the Creator resides. The tower that none of the townsfolk, not even the knights, dare visit. We're surrounded by secrecy, that's for sure. It's a bit like the Eldritch Woods. Indeed, those woods certainly are an enigma in themselves. Not to mention those underground ruins. Talk about mysterious places. If the storyteller really did know everything about Labyrinthia, well, I'd have liked to ask him a thing or two about them. It's possible there may be clues related to those places, as well as a number of other matters waiting for us within that tower. In which case, there could also be any manner of traps or contrivances waiting for us as well. We shall have to be doubly careful from here on in. Got it, Professor. You've what? You've completed your mission? Boy says he's worried about his master and wants to return to him now. We couldn't have come this far without your fine guidance, Constantine. We can take it from here. Constantine says we're the ones his master chose, so he knows he can leave this quest with us in good faith. We're honored, Constantine. Thank you for your help. Yes, thanks a lot. Take care on your way back. Inquisitor Barnum loves this town more than anyone and has done his utmost to protect it. Let's bear that in mind too, Luke. We have a responsibility to fight to the end, for him and for everyone else in this town. Oh, I'm ready if you are, Professor. Alright, let's go. Oh, do we have to move? Is it move or click? No, it's click. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So, in true Layton fashion, the final dungeon is just a huge puzzle gauntlet. Usually the hardest in the game, although I remember the puzzles in this game just overall being easier, so shouldn't be too bad here. It seems the mechanisms put in place to protect the tower are still operating. Does this mean we can't get inside? No, I wouldn't say so. This particular mechanism is in the form of a puzzle. If we solve it, perhaps we can enter. There are 12 gems, each of them numbered between 1 and 12. There's also a set of 3 triangles with gems already inside of them. Keep in mind, these gems cannot be moved. Place the gems from your hand so that the sum of all the numbers on each triangle's perimeter adds up to 39. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Curious Village had almost the exact same puzzle in it, in part of its final dungeon. I remember there being one puzzle in particular that... Wait. Place all numbers of each triangle's per... Oh, okay, so triangles themselves have to add 39. I'm pretty sure there was like a... I remember there being like a calculator puzzle that took me forever to solve in Curious Village at the end. It was like 70 pick rats or something crazy like that. Alright, so what do we have here so far? So we have... A lot of the bigger numbers are in the middle, so we probably want to save some of these bigger numbers that we have access to on the outside. So we have 17, 22, 28. So we need an 11 between two numbers here. So the only two numbers that can equal 11... Oh wait, no. I was looking at the wrong triangle. 9, 16, 21. So we need 18 total. My bad. I was looking at the wrong thing. That 6 is part of a different triangle. So we need 18 for this one, so that can be done with 7 and 11, but we need 3. We don't have access to the 1. We can do 14. No, it's only 16. This is 11 here, but then we need another 7. Yeah, 17, 23. Oh no, 16. We need 16. Okay, that makes more sense. So if we did 11, 10, 2, and 6. So it's probably going to have to be 10, 2, and 4 here. So that's 10, 18, 27, 31, 36. Oh, that's only 38. Wait, really? 17, 23. I need 16. 10, 12, 16. Oh, it's 22, not 23. I'm stupid. It's 22, so we need 17. So that still makes it a little awkward because we need 16. Can do it with the 10 and 7, but we need 3 digits to equal that. Can get 16, but that doesn't make any sense because we still need 17. So we don't have access to the 9. 9 is already in there. The 12. We could do an 18, but that doesn't work. Sum of all the numbers on each triangle's perimeter adds to 39. So we have 9, 17, 22. So we need 17 between these three. So that's 30. Yeah, I have no way to make 9. Well, okay, this is how you make 9. That puts us up to 31. And then we need another 8. Well, that doesn't work. What am I missing here? Okay, well, let's try a different triangle. Maybe we'll come back to that one. So 9, 10 on the outside. So we need another... This one's going to need all the big ones, because we need another 29 here. So we could do like 10, 22, 29. Okay, so that solved the first triangle on the outside. And I think that's the only way that can really work, because we need such big numbers. So what does that do for the second triangle? That gives us 22, 31, 37, wait, no, 10, 19, 31, 36, that's 42. Oh, if we just swap those two, then we get 17, 22, 28, and then we still need one more of 11. So the 11 could go here. Did I do that wrong? 19, 26, 31, 37. Oh, wait. There we go. I forgot about the 5. And then that leaves us with, I guess, the 11 and 4. And I get that just works. 15, 20, 17, that's 37. Oh, yeah, okay. 15, 67. Why'd I keep thinking I need 18? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Figured it out.
Ah, the joy of solving puzzles.
Sue's stubborn thought working from the inside out was easier. Correct. A shiver runs down your spine as the door opens and an eerie silence fills the air. Just what awaits you on the other side? Professor, you did it! Professor? Doesn't it seem peculiar to you, Luke? To get here, we had to make our way beyond the guard post and through the knight's garrison. That would normally be considered sufficient defense against intruders, or so one would imagine. Yeah, I guess you're right. There were several knights around as well. And yet, in addition, we found that contrivance in place on the door. It would suggest to me that something of great importance must be contained within. Let's go on in and find out, Professor. Oh, was that like the end? Wow, okay. We could have totally technically finished the chapter last time. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I thought there was still like a lot more to that. Well, I didn't want to risk it. I was like, it was already like, what, 1 a.m. or something stupid like that? So, I mean, it made sense to stop because I didn't remember how much was left. And I think that was like our, what, 3rd chapter that day? We did a lot of chapters there. It's finally starting. The last witch trial. Witch's Court will no longer serve any purpose once the Great Witch Bazella is burned. This almost seems less grand than the indoor courtroom, considering it's just a bunch of tents. But spell isn't Bazella. I'm not buying it one bit. I mean, the storyteller's her father. I don't know what happened between them, but a father would never do that to his child. What, turn them into a self-insert? Nah, never. I think you're right, Maya. But no one else does. They're all throwing accusations at her. Just feels so sorry for Spella. She's just like fucking baked as shit right now. Feels like this whole case is under some kind of bad spell. A spell? Yeah, we just can't see it yet. That's why it's so vital we expose the real witch behind all this. And we've got to do it during this trial. I believe in you, Nick. Oh, by the way. Yeah? What are you gonna do during this trial? I mean, if you were thinking about watching... What? You mean you don't want me to be by your side? I didn't take you for such a cold-hearted guy, Nick. Yeah, where the fuck's this coming from? That's not what I mean. Let me finish before you start jumping to conclusions. What I was going to say is that you can't let people see you. You're supposed to be, you know, dead. Oh, yeah, that's true. We know that she didn't die. We know why she didn't die. No one else knows why she didn't die. You were cast into the flames, remember? Oh, right, that. You mean after I was on trial for the murder of Sir Top Hat? Don't underestimate me, Sir Blue Knight. Huh? I've already got it covered. Check it out. I brought this with me. With this masterful disguise, I shall be transformed into Maya the Ironclad. I found it in Barnum's room and figured I'd borrow it for a while. Don't tell me you're going to the trial wearing that helmet. I sure am. Can't be Maya the Ironclad without being clad in some iron. Let's just hope Barnum doesn't flip out if he sees you wearing his trusty headgear. Man's in jail, I don't think he's gonna know. I mean, hell, he's probably not even gonna be at this trial. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I can to help. We've got to save Espella, right? We will. Come on, let's get going. It's time to break whatever bad spell Espella's under, and put an end to these witch trials once and for all. Right. You're okay with that, aren't you, Espella? Yeah, I think she's fine. Take that as a yes. Damn, they built all this stuff for the trial in like 3 hours? That's impressive.
Let's do this. Come on.
They built this entire court area in like the last 2 hours.
Now, as scheduled, the trial of Espella Cantabella shall commence forthwith.
So,
Knights of the court,
what happens if we prove her innocent?
now to cross your swords of justice?
All this, like, theatrics will be for nothing, and then they'll just, like, you know, go back to as it was, find the witch again, cue someone else, build it all again.
The Knights of the Inquisition have spent countless years trying to track down the elusive Great Witch. The secret of her identity shall finally be brought to light in this very court. All those present, pay attention so that the truth may be burned into your memory. Today, the legend of the Great Witch shall become a closed chapter in the history of Labyrinthia.
You could cut the atmosphere with a knife. It's so loaded, but at the same time, oddly subdued.
And now, the whole truth shall be revealed to all. The moon, eye of the night, shall bear witness to that. Don't you agree, Defender?
Your Honor, the defense is ready.
How regrettable. I see you won't allow yourself to be provoked.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Phoenix Wright doesn't get easily swayed. You're gonna have a hard time here, Darklaw. May now begin your opening statement, High Inquisitor Darklaw. Thank you. People of Labyrinthia, the story has ended. Its end has been sealed through the storyteller's death. The one who put an end to the life of the storyteller, and to the story which governed our lives, was the great witch Bezella, a foul embodiment of evil who has long been lurking among us, concealed deep within the consciousness of a certain girl. I'm sure you are all aware of her name. I refer, of course, to Espella Cantabella. Oh, the cat's with her. Yo, is the cat gonna get burned at the stake too? I guess you can't leave the witch's cat going about. Today at dusk, a tragedy unfolded right in front of us all. A giant fire dragon descended into the town square, devouring the storyteller. It was a nightmarish vision that we shall never be able to forget. That fearsome fire beast, of which we had only heard tell through legend, returned at the hands of the great witch. Indeed, it was just as the illustrations of the legendary fire. And the girl within whose heart lies the great witch herself has committed her final and most heinous crime. The crime of patricide. May this child serve as an offering to the storyteller who can be with us no longer. Thank you, High Inquisitor. The Inquisition may now begin proceedings. As I have said, this unthinkable crime took place in the town square, within plain sight of all Labyrinthians. Everyone is a witness. Surely there can be no need for a formal interrogation. You can't say that. I suggest you mind your temper, Defender. In a few moments you'll have no option but to accept the truth. Once we hear it from the very mouth of the accused. From Espella? The Inquisition hereby demands that the accused, Espella Cantabella, testify about her crime. Or rather, that she confessed to it. The Inquisition's request shall be granted. Bring Espella Cantabella down to the witness stand. This is it, the last trial. In all likelihood, Espella will admit to the charges. I have only one chance to break whatever spell she's under. When she testifies, there are bound to be some clues to the truth in there. Wait, have we ever cross-examined our client before? I feel like we haven't. I'm trying to think if that's happened. Like, the only thing that I can't remember in the first game, we didn't cross-examine Larry in 1-1. No. I think this is the first time we've cross-examined our client. Now that you're here, witness, state your name and tell us your real name as well. That's a loaded question. Or loaded request.
But I have another name too. Bezella.
Order! Order! Order in the court! Then, you really do admit that you are the Great Witch? You openly concede that you are Bezella herself, the cause of all evil and destruction. Yes. Oh, I knew it! We're done! She's Bezella! How terrifying! I mean, she killed her own father! How dare she kill our beloved storyteller? We don't want a trial. We want to see her burn! 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 The Inquisition was right. The accused herself has spoken. It would seem there's no need for an interrogation. I assure you there is none. The only possible verdict has been clear to everyone from the beginning.
Hold it!
Spella's, the accused's side of the story. Magic exists in this world, right? So if you think about it, Spella could be under the influence of a spell too. What I would like to know is this. Just who in the world are you, young knight? Oh, me? How to put it? I feel as if we've met somewhere before. It was... Where was it again? We haven't. It's just your imagination, Your Honor. I mean, my lord. As for who I am, I'm with Sir Blue Knight. Not in a romantic way, of course. Is this a friend of yours, Defender? Yes. And, don't comment on the helmet, please. She really wouldn't, like to have her face seen. Can I put this gently? It's not something you'd want to look at. What are you talking about? You make it sound like there's a problem with my face. I can assure you we have no interest in your face, miss. Although I do wonder where you acquired that particular helm. Well, why's that? A helm of that ilk is not something you can simply purchase from a street stall. Well, I found it in the forest. Finders keepers, you know. What about when Mia was on trial when she possessed a spirit? Hey, we don't bring that up in this world, okay? That's a touchy subject here. It's bad enough as it is. She was already killed once. We don't need her killed again. Especially once these trials are over. That would be unfortunate. They'd probably kill her for real. That's a real fire right there on screen. That's not a pit that just goes down to some hidden passageway. What are you doing, Maya? You promised me you wouldn't draw any attention. Sorry, Nick. I lost it a bit. Well, anyway, defense's opinion is as follows. We should hear the defendant's testimony before coming to a verdict. There may be some things even she isn't aware of. How amusing. As this is to be the last witch trial ever held, perhaps it is only fitting that we cross swords before you accept your defeat. I agree. Thus the accused herself will now testify. Miss Cantabella, tell the court of your involvement in this incident. Oh, when we cross this... Okay, well... I guess that kind of technically counts. Yeah, if you're talking about the end of Game 3... I guess that counts. But, like, we weren't really cross-examining her, though. We were cross-examining the person that was possessing her. Because that wasn't really Mia. Yeah, she was physically standing there. But, like, that person was dead. That was the whole point. Was the person that we were cross-examining was dead. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong... We're thinking of different things. Because the only time that comes to mind is, like, the end of Game 3, but... I don't think we've directly cross-examined the client themselves. I can't think of, like, because we didn't cross-examine Maya in Game 2. Yeah, no. We didn't cross-examine on guard, right? No. I finally realized that Bezella has been lying dormant within me. Once evening fell and the rain ceased, I climbed up the wooden stairs of that bell tower and awaited the parade. I waited for my father's speech to end, and then I summoned the fire dragon. I don't know why I killed my father. That was a very unusual testimony. When you used magic against your father, were you doing so as a Spella Cantabella, or as the Great Witch Bezella? A most fascinating query. However, it matters not. The Inquisition has ingeniously solved the query by disregarding it. What? That's not how that works? That's... what? What matters is that Bezella exists within this girl. Being a witch is a crime. Such a fundamental rule will always hold. And this girl here is not just any witch. She is the Great Witch. That's a little different than how it works in normal Phoenix, right? You know, if someone's getting possessed, the possessed aren't usually at fault. It's the possessee that's at fault. Spell has admitted the charges, just as I suspected. I just have to hope I can find some contradictions in her testimony. If I don't, we can kiss the trials goodbye. The defense may begin the interrogation. Defender, steady your sword of justice. Should I see it waver or point in the wrong direction, I will not hesitate to cut down your arguments and end this interrogation. You had better keep that in mind. Alright, let me save here. I don't think this trial tries to pull something funny or bullshit like, oh, you can't press. If you press, it's a penalty. I don't think it does anything like that. So we're just gonna go with the usual. You say you finally realized. Yes, I've always had a feeling, but my memory is rather hazy. I've always felt as though I'm not who I think I am, and that I've forgotten something very important. Incidentally, when you became aware of Bezelle's presence within you. It was when I went to the Great Archive with Mr. Layton and Luke. Ever since I saw the mural depicting Bezella, I started having strange flashbacks. I saw things from the distant past, memories of the legendary fire. The legendary fire? I saw it. I was there when it happened. I saw the town consumed by flames. You couldn't have. That's impossible. The legendary fire occurred over 100 years ago, and there were no survivors. Yes, I know that. But it's true. I remember it happening. Because I'm Bezella.
Hold it!
Where were you before that? We were looking for you. I'm not sure. When I came to, I was in the town. It was pouring, so I wanted to go to Aunt Patty's bakery and wait for it to stop. But I couldn't face her, so I just went to the forest instead. So you were in the forest until the incident. Couldn't find you, though. The rain finally stopped and the time came. I made my way over to the town square. I was feeling strange, as if I wasn't myself. Then, I noticed I was up in the bell tower, looking down at the square. Spella's not a witch, and that means there's gotta be something strange about this statement. Witness, continue your testimony. Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
You summoned the fire dragon with that spell Granwyrm, right? Yes, that's the one. Although I won't say it now, I'm sure something terrible would happen if I did. That's fine. Absolutely fine. No need to prove that statement. In fact, the court forbids you to prove it. Of course I won't say it. Come on, this is supposed to be the Great Witch. Look at her. There's no way Spella's a witch. Must be like you said, Nick. Someone's cast an evil spell on her. Something in this testimony keeps nagging at me, that's for sure. I just need to figure out what.
Hold it!
That may be because you didn't kill him.
Objection!
It's useless, defender. Witness, who killed the storyteller? Well, you can't ask her. The whole argument I'm making here is that she's lying. It was me. I summoned the fire dragon. I killed him. The storyteller chose his own death. That is a fact that cannot be changed. It is common knowledge that all things written in the story will become a reality. And Bezella's appearance has been written into the story's final chapter. She has no choice but to act out the role that has been written for her.
In other words, everything happens in accordance with the storyteller's story.
Nick? Have you noticed how weird Espella is acting today?
I sure have.
It's almost like she's a puppet. But who's pulling the strings? It's the cat. The cat totally did it. Everything that has transpired was the will of the cat. Cat's in cahoots with the parrot. Eve? Nick, look! Check it out! It's Eve! She must be here to root for Espella. I don't think a cat's emotional support is going to help us all that much.
Well, this is an unexpected intrusion. But as we're in the middle of an interrogation, I will ask the witness to carry on with her testimony.
Yes, my lord. Okay, so what do we have here? Finally realized Bezella's been lying dormant with me. Let's check out the evidence. What we have for evidence here? I don't think we had too much, right? We have the flower-covered robe. Some contraption that we didn't get to solve because somebody took the jewel that we needed. And the bell tower plan. And then vigilantes that claimed that they were watching the bell tower the whole time. I don't think there's really going to be anything of import there at the moment. Oh, do we have anything in the grimoire? Do we know what the Grand Worm spell? We do, okay. Summons forth a great fire dragon for the caster to command, responsible for the legendary fire that lit the town ablaze so many years ago. Okay, well, that didn't really help us at all. Climbed up the wooden stairs of that bell tower and awaited the parade. I waited for my father's speech to end and then I summoned a dragon. Don't know why I killed my father. That last statement feels off more than anything. Should we press one of these again? I have an idea here. Yeah, I figured things are gonna change now. We have two witnesses. So a lot of this is probably going to be the same, but let's see if the cat chimes in with anything. Because I have a feeling the cat's probably got a thing or two to say. Shame that Luke's not here. He's off gallivanting with Layton in some tower. Looking for clues, apparently. While we're down here doing all the important work. Alright, well, cat has nothing to say on that. I figured it's not like the cat was gonna be there.
Hold it!
So I don't know how she was waiting in the forest, because she didn't go through the forest. She was with us inside the ruins, and then how did she end up leaving? Okay, so Phoenix says that one's a strange statement. That's fair. What was that statement again? Once evening fell in the rain season, I climbed the wooden stairs to Bell Tower and awaited the parade. Right. And then that's when she called forth the dragon. But if she's not a witch, then obviously she couldn't have done that. But I mean, that seems pretty obvious at this point still. Okay. Still no comments from the cat. I mean, I'm assuming that there's like going to be a comment from the cat, because like it's the only thing that's changed so far. And I feel like we don't really have the evidence otherwise. They haven't said anything yet. I don't know when they'll say something. Still no comment from the cat, though. I'm just waiting until the cat, like, has the fucking MGS exclamation on his head, and then we can get something out of him. Because I was accompanied by a cat. Then she should have had it with her when the incident happened, right? Now she mentions it. I think I saw a black cat at the bell tower when it happened. Aw, shit. She is Bizella then. You think I might be onto something? A witch with a trusty black cat, huh? So how do we use the cat here, though, is the thing. Do we present Eve on something? Wait, what did it say about... Spell's pet cat was with her at the time of the incident. Okay. So once evening fell on the rain season, climbed the wind stairs of the bell tower and awaited the parade, waited for my father's speech to end, and I summoned the fire dragon. Don't know why I killed my father. Okay, let me read this last bit again. Gotta find these contradictions and fast. Nick, we can't let it end yet. Look, even Eve showed up to root for us. Eve? Oh, right, the black cat. Great Witch Bizella always has a black cat by her side, huh? But you know, if Bizella is always accompanied by a cat, then she should have had it with her when the incident happened, right? Now she mentions it. I think I saw a black cat at the bell tower when it happened. Right, so then doesn't that just further prove that she's Bizella then? So what do we go on here? Finally realized that Bizella's been lying dormant within me. Once evening fell in the rain ceased, I climbed up the wooden stairs at bell tower and awaited the parade. Well, actually, wait, can we present this? Bell tower, there are no trespassers. Okay.
Objection!
There we go. I didn't finish reading that part of the item. Vigilantes were guarding the bell tower all day. Is that the Vigilantes report? Don't tell me it's outdated. Indeed, and according to this, the Vigilantes have been constantly guarding the entrance to the bell tower ever since it appeared. However, there's nothing about Spella going up the tower in their report.
Objection!
Your memory must have failed you. That girl is a witch. The Great Witch at that. It's only natural to assume that she used something akin to invisibility magic. Will you mind showing us which spell that she might have used then, to prove your point? Isn't that so, witness? Yes, I used an invisibility spell to enter the tower unnoticed.
Objection!
Even magic follows certain rules in this world. Witches need to be holding a Lea Magica in order to use magic. And you weren't in possession of one at the time. Oh.
Objection!
How horrifying your ignorance is. Excuse me? Did you honestly think the difference between a regular witch and the Great Witch was in name alone? The Great Witch, unlike other witches, can command any magic she desires without the use of a witch's scepter.
Objection!
That's news to me. Every Labyrinthian should know about that. A witch's scepter can hold only 2 magic gems at once. Whoever heard of a Great Witch that could only use 2 spells? Order! Order! In any case, this should convince you that the accused entered the tower. Footprints? This is a sketch showing footprints.
It was raining before the parade reached the town square. Obviously, if you walk through the muddy streets before climbing up a staircase, you will inevitably leave footprints on the steps. The sketch shows that there are indeed muddy footprints present on the bell tower stairs. And since you'd no doubt be quick to ask, I can tell you that they match the sole of the accused's shoes. It's certain that the accuser climbed up the bell tower after the rain had fallen.
Very well. The court accepts this sketch as evidence.
Sketch of the muddy footprints left on the bell tower stairs.
I almost pity you, defender. The evidence you threw in our faces with such verve was sadly useless.
Indeed. It would seem that there were no problems with that testimony after all. Let us not waste time. If you could carry on with the interrogation.
That is, if the defender hasn't run out of ideas yet.
The judge seems ready to announce the verdict any second now. I've got to find a flaw in her testimony and fast. I need a solid lead in this case. Damn it! Alright, so what do we have for evidence now? We just have the footprints? That's the only new thing? Anything suspicious here? Nope. Those do indeed look like footprints. Okay, wait for my father's speech to end, and then I summon the fire dragon. Don't know why I killed my father. So nothing else in here.
Hold it!
We press this again, do we get something new? But the vigilantes that were guarding the entrance didn't see you.
Objection!
Obviously, that would be because she used an invisibility spell.
Do we have? Yeah, we have an invisibility spell, right? It's, not that one. This one. Anything the caster touches to vanish from sight, simply chant a mirror to make it reappear. But did anyone hear her cast a spell?
Yes, that's true.
Spell it. Do you have a clear recollection of using such a spell?
I don't. But I left footprints on the stairs, so I think it's pretty clear that I must have. What's clear is the evidence. There can be no room for doubt.
Really, Darklaw? I'd say it's pretty clear that we don't have all the facts yet. Anyway, I'd better try a different approach. Okay. Climb the wooden stairs at Belltown Waypoint. I have an idea here. I don't know if this is going to work. But what if we were to... Oh, not that. I didn't mean to press that. I was on the wrong screen. I wanted to... I want to present the Demir spell. Because part of the Demir spell is one... I mean, she needs the gem. I'm pretty sure she still needs the gem, even if she doesn't need the staff. She's gonna need to say the word Demir. And then she has to, like, touch herself and everything. Like, there's a whole process here that I feel like we have no evidence that was actually followed. So I'll see if this does something.
Objection!
No, okay. Wasn't sure if that was, like, kind of what they were going for here. I mean, it's a different approach, like Phoenix suggested. Okay, so she climbed the stairs, wait for his speech to end, and then summon the fire dragon. And there's nothing specific in here about this. Summons forth the great caster okay. So let's see here. So she went up to... Yeah, so she went up the stairs to the crime scene. There's footprints on the stairs. Vigilantes didn't see her because apparently she cast a spell, but we don't... So I feel like we need to disprove that she cast a spell. We still haven't gotten anything out of Eve. Like, I feel like Eve's gonna be important soon. What was this other evidence here? Because we have... Okay, that's just a robe, and then we have this, but we can't... We couldn't do anything with this because we needed the gem that was taken. So what else can we press here? Wait for my father's speech to end this on the dragon. I don't know why I killed my father. Press this one again? Have we pressed this one again?
Objection!
Yeah, no, this is pretty much the same still. I like that her rebuttal is just like, ask the witness and be like, see, the witness says she did, therefore she did. Wait, can we just question the cat here?
Hang on!
Could I just like... Let's get a second opinion on this one. I have a question for you, Eve. Eve. Just what on earth are you doing, Defender? Huh? I was just... Eve is the spell's friend, so I was wondering if she might want to have some input.
Whether or not this furry little witness can contribute to the testimony seems to be obvious at a glance.
Is that so? I guess questioning a cat wasn't the best idea. Where's Luke when you need him?
Do you wish to say something, High Inquisitor Darklaw?
I just remembered a line from a fairy tale that I heard when I was little. A fairy tale about Bezella. The great witch Bezella is always accompanied by a black cat. Or so it claimed. It would seem there was a grain of truth in that fairy tale after all. That's true. Eve always follows me.
Always.
Oh, Nick, that means... They must have been together when the incident happened too.
I bet she mentions it. I think I saw a black cat at the bell tower when it happened.
Oh, yes. Eve was with me in the bell tower.
Your Honor.
Yes, Defender. The defense requests that Miss Cantabella's comment
Be added to the testimony.
Very well. The request granted.
Witness,
Add what you just said about the cat to your testimony. Yes, my lord.
okay, there we go. My cat Eve followed me as always. Where's that put in there? Okay, so that... Now, here's a thought.
Objection!
How did she follow you? Up the stairs. I'm sorry, Spella. But there's a problem with that statement.
A problem?
You went up the bell tower in the evening, after it stopped raining, correct?
Yes, I think so. After all, there's proof of that. My footprints were left on the stairs.
That's right. There were footprints on the steps. However, there's something missing in this sketch.
Missing? What do you mean, Defender?
There are no paw prints of Ispella's cat, Eve.
Oh.
You said Eve was following you, right? In which case, naturally, there would have to be cat paw prints on the stairs as well.
Objection!
She wasn't following, she was being carried by Ispella.
And here I thought you would say something that makes sense. Such a silly assertion as that can be easily explained. The cat must have climbed up on the accused's shoulders. Was that not the case, witness? Yes. Eve was on my shoulders, I think. She dislikes dirt, so when it's muddy she tends to climb up on my shoulders.
Objection!
Then why didn't she say that before? You testified that the cat was following you.
It's...
Objection!
This is such a trifling matter, Defender. You would do well to just let it go.
Objection!
It might seem that way to you,
but it has important implications. It shows that Ispella's testimony is unreliable.
What? What do you mean?
For a while now, Ispella hasn't been testifying in her own words. All the vital parts of her testimony have come from High Inquisitor Darklaw. She made Ispella say those things. Yeah, she's... I guess this court doesn't have the rule of no leading questions. I mean, if this was a real court, she should have been thrown out ages ago. Are you claiming that I, the High Inquisitor, am responsible for making the accused commit perjury? Well, if that's not the case, then there's one more possibility. I like that the idea of perjury exists, but leading questions, perfectly acceptable. Namely, that the witness, Miss Cantabella, has no clear recollection of what happened this evening.
What? Are you saying the witness has no memory of the incident?
Ispella, do you actually remember what happened? Do you remember entering the bell tower and summoning the fire dragon? Yes. You say you also remember the legendary fire which burned this town to the ground? Yes. Yes, I do. Even though it was a long time ago. And you remember tonight's events just as clearly? Do you truly remember summoning the terrifying fire dragon and killing your own father? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm Vizela, am I not? I can remember it, the legendary fire. So then, why can't I remember anything about what happened tonight? Your Honor, the defendant is confused and cannot remember what happened. Therefore, her confession that she is the Great Witch is not credible.
Objection!
What are you on about talking about, defender? She admits that she's Vizela.
Objection!
Do you need your ears cleaned? Did you not just hear literally 3 seconds ago? Her testimony doesn't hold together. I am more than one person. Who is the other one within me? Spella.
Court attendants, carry the accused to the emergency care room. A brief summary of the accused's current situation. Isabella Cantabella became extremely agitated during the interrogation and proceeded to lose consciousness. She remains unconscious, although her life is not in danger. Until the verdict, at least.
Well, that's a relief. She had me pretty worried there. Nick, I don't mean to sound insensitive or anything, but this is just what we needed. I'm not sure I follow. The professor is out looking for clues to help us out, right? That means all we've got to do is buy some more time until he returns with his findings. He is right. That's just what we're going to do. Your Honor, it's impossible to continue the trial while the defendant isn't present. And also, it's possible that someone at the crime scene was manipulating the defendant. The defense proposes an intermission in order to carry out further investigation.
What is your opinion on this, High Inquisitor Darklaw?
My opinion is that the defender is just playing for time. What? No, totally not. She saw right through my plan. However, I shall allow it. As long, of course, as the townsfolk who have gathered here have no objections.
Very well, then. So be it. Court should now... Oh?
You, defender, stop messing around!
Ah, shit. It's him.
What he said! You can't squirm your way out of this! What he said! What he said! Because we know everything!
Oh, do you? Because you certainly didn't know that the spell has snuck into your tower, into your watch.
What he said! What he said! We will reveal your wrongdoings to everyone gathered here! We shall do this!
Order! Order!
If anyone here should be silenced, it is not us, but a defender over there.
Ah,
And who are you? You ask who we are? We are the ones who watch the bell tower, guard the bell tower, and take cover from the rain in the bell tower. We are the bell tower guards, known as the Vigilantes, and I am their captain.
oh right. That guy showed up at the crime scene when we were trying to investigate it.
You there, you defender.
Yes?
What was it you said earlier? Well, taking advantage of all the confusion like the rascal you are? You said someone at the crime scene may have been manipulating the accused. We vigilantes were at the crime scene. Are you suggesting that we were manipulating that witch?
No. That's totally not what...
Don't think you can silence us like that. We shall have our say now.
They sure will, no matter what anyone else has to say about it.
We are the vigilantes, dutiful and righteous. Superior, happy, fulfilled on the job. Our passion is burning and our blood is red. If you fail to let us speak out, we will have no choice but turn to violence. I disapprove of violence, the burning of which has been a necessary exception, naturally.
In which case, it's best to just let them have their say. Huh? You may not know this, but it's not unusual for the accused to fall unconscious in this court. No kidding. Let us lend our ears to these brave knights. We shall hear what they have witnessed.
Very well. These knights will be accepted as witnesses. They may testify.
People of Labyrinthia, did you hear the word of the judge? Today's trial is not over yet. In fact, it is just beginning. Now, Vigilante Captain Boystrom, you may testify to your heart's content.
Lady Darklaw, thank you for this honor. I will talk to my heart's content. You can be sure of that.
Oh, joy. So much for buying us some time. I don't know, I still feel like we're buying some time here. I feel like these chumps won't have much to say. Just a waste of everyone's time. What the... How many are there? How is this so long? Hang on a second here. Wait a minute. What the heck is this?
We vigilantes despise injustice and inequality. We shall remain united, friendly, confident, and self-reliant. We have to do away with this fiendish defender trying to protect the witch. We shall fight, and we shall protect our town from this villainous defender.
Yeah, whatever. Did I just hear something crash on the floor? Honorable Vigilantes, let us first hear your proud names.
I am Vigilante number 1, the captain of this unit. My name is Boystrom.
I'm Vigilante number 2. My name is Lauderlance.
Well, I'm Vigilante number 3. My name's Belmont. They say dogs that bark don't bite, but I assure you, I do bite. Vigilante number 4. Name's Lywood.
I'm Vigilante number 5. My name is Seiki.
And I, Vigilante number 6, am no more than a hopeless slave to love. My humble name is Servius.
I'm the Steel Angel gracing the Vigilantes with my sweet presence. My name's Foxy. Don't you dare forget it.
And I am but a man who wants nothing more than to feel Foxy's steel heels on his back. You can call me Treadon.
Vigilante number 9. And go by the name... I think there might have been one too many chews in there.
As for me, I'm the 10th Vigilante. Nothing more, nothing less. Just that. It's no use, I cannot remember that many new names and faces at once. Well, anyway, honorable witnesses, you may testify about this evening's incident. Tell us everything you saw on this dreadful night. We have been guarding the bell tower ever since it appeared. No one's ever said a bad word about us. The defender tried to hide his decisive proof that the girl is the Great Witch, but he couldn't fool us. Before the rain, after the rain, at no point did a single suspicious person approach the bell tower. But then suddenly, footprints appeared on the bell tower stairs. When I saw them, I thought, it's that witch. My eyes went hazy. It made me sick and I got dizzy. The rain stopped and a beautiful butterfly appeared at our side. Rain is so loathsome. My steel stilettos get dirty from the mud. My lovely hair loses its texture. You have no idea how delightful it is when Foxy steps on us in her dirty stilettos, imprinting the mud on our backs. Yeah, I didn't learn how and I did my duty when I discovered the intruder. I tell ya. I have been mulling over this incident, and just now the realization dawned on me. I remember nothing. Well, I suppose that can be summed up by saying, you all did the best you could. The vigilantes have been taking turns guarding the bell tower since its appearance. Only a witch could have gone past them unnoticed. Yes, that would seem to be true. However, I must say that something caught my attention in that testimony. Defender. Yes, Your Honor? Have you been concealing important evidence? Huh? Why would I do that? Don't think you can get off the hook by claiming you forgot about it, right, Captain Boystrom? Well, of course he won't. Defender, you and your companion tampered with the crime scene. And tried to sneak away with a very important piece of evidence. We did? Wait, is he talking about the pendant? But in the end we gave it to you guys. We weren't trying to steal it or anything. That's absurd. We saw you putting it in your pocket. Oh, right, that. The evidence we retrieved from you has been passed on to the Inquisition. We've done our citizenly duty. Isn't that so, Lady High Inquisitor Darklaw?
This thing, was it?
Oh, that's... the pendant that Espella Cantabella was always wearing, is it not? What's in that thing? That's Spella's pendant. She never goes out without it. Wait. Didn't she have it on earlier? That's weird. Has to be, after all. She went to the bell tower and used witchcraft. Very well. This pendant will be accepted as evidence.
Well, the accused was caught in the act, so this pendant doesn't change the situation much. Although it should at least clear any doubts as to whether or not she was at the crime scene. Aw, man. If they just appeared 5 seconds later, they wouldn't have seen us swiping that thing. Right, Nick? Are you okay? You're spacing out. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Was it just me? Or did Darklaw look mighty uncomfortable just now? What's more, on closer inspection, that pendant seems to have some blackish stains on the strap. Found at the crime scene, the strap's been torn and has some black stains on it. Blood? Burn marks?
Defender, you may begin your interrogation. We have been guarding the bell tower since it appeared. No one's ever said a bad word about us.
Hold it!
I highly... Oh my god. It's like, how many characters can we fit in this UI that we created? I don't know, just max it out. It's the final trial. Why have you been guarding that tower?
As you might know, that bell tower suddenly appeared, out of nowhere, about 3 months ago. Oh, there's been an overwhelming presence, and it looks as if it's been here forever. It's a bad omen. It's the Great Witch's doing. Simply put, the townspeople are scared of it. That is why, Defender. The vigilantes were compelled to step in and keep an eye on the tower in order to ease the minds of the townsfolk.
That bell tower is in fact tied to 2 dreadful incidents.
2?
You shouldn't have to ask. The alchemist committed suicide a few days after its appearance.
Ah, right. She's talking about Belduke.
And now, this most heinous crime. The murder of the storyteller.
The bell tower is cursed. 'Tis the curse of the Great Witch.
Next witness, continue the testimony.
Hold it!
The proof you're talking about is this, correct?
Yes, that's it. That's the pendant the accused was always wearing. It's proof that she was at the crime scene.
Strap on this thing has been torn.
Of course it has. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dropped it.
Right, but there must be a reason why it's torn. It wouldn't just snap on its own.
Yes.
That's right.
You there, you rascal. I mean, Defender.
Yes?
You no good, good-for-nothing, useless swine. You're doing it again, huh? You're insulting the vigilantes.
What?
Someone tore the pendant from the girl's neck, huh? And you have the temerity to suggest it was us. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? That we did it?
No, that's not what...
When this trial is over, we will hold our own trial in which you'll be the accused.
For apparently pinning the blame on you for taking a pendant. Okay. One more reason to prolong this trial as long as I can.
Hold it!
Are you sure about that?
So I'm sure. And anyway, I'll be honest with you. Ever since I started guarding the tower a few months ago, not a single person suspicious or not has come near it. No one but us.
Really?
No one even approaches us for a chat when we're on duty. People almost treat us like we're not even there. It gets so very lonely out on the job. So cheerless. What he said. Cheerless. Lonely. You have no idea how sad it can get guarding that tower. It's very sad. Oh, it is. You'd think people would be interested in a highly suspicious bell tower like that. But no. I mean, what's that about?
Isn't their job to keep people away from the bell tower anyway? Well, yeah, but I feel like on some level he's making a good point. You would think people would want to try and get into the bell tower to check it out. It sounds like no one even shows up.
And so it goes without saying the vigilantes haven't seen anyone enter the bell tower. And you know what that means.
But footprints appeared on the steps.
Hold it!
Hold on a minute. You saw footprints on the steps too.
Yes, muddy footprints left by one person, from the entrance all the way up.
The footprints you saw, are they the ones shown in the sketch?
If these are the footprints from the bell tower, yeah. And when did you notice these footprints? After the rain. Still quite some time before the incident. Wait a second, Lywood. I don't remember you reporting this to me.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't report it.
Lywood, why not? Well, I thought you were serious about your duty, at least compared to the others. Why did you neglect to report that?
Right, Captain. It was out of character. I'm sure there's a good reason why I didn't report it to you. It's no use. I've forgotten. I think I'd remember if someone could give me a clue. Okay. Well, that's something to go on. That guy, it's like he's teasing us. Can only hope he remembers what it was. His testimony did give us some new info to go on. The culprit entered the bell tower soon after the rain stopped. Didn't we already know that? Well, yeah, we did. That's not new information. I mean, it just confirms previous information.
Hold it!
You're, oh yeah, Mr. Shaky, right? Yes. Shaky's the name. Hey, are you feeling okay? Yes, I'm perfectly peachy. Looks can be deceiving. Did you see anything around the time of the incident? I told you, my eyes were hazy. I was dizzy. And the ringing in my ears, like the crying of a girl. That's okay. That's all I wanted to know. What I'd like to know is how Mr. Shaky got into the Vigilantes in the first place. Maya, maybe it's better not to ask.
Hold it!
A butterfly, you say? Yes, a butterfly, happily fluttering around watching us from above. When I saw it, I thought, maybe my goddess has turned into this butterfly. What are you talking about? Gracefully moving from one flower to the next, like my goddess of love. The divine Foxy. I'm the steel agent acing the Vigilantes with my sweet presence. My name's Foxy. Don't you dare forget it. Nick, about that butterfly. I think that must have been a witch using a transformation spell. Seriously? You think a witch turned into a butterfly and flew up the bell tower? That would have been a smarter idea than walking up the stairs where everyone can see your footprints, yeah. Whoever the Great Witch is, they're not very smart. By the way, what happened to that butterfly? Ah, well, it carelessly flew straight into the fire torch and burned. Huh? I felt enlightened by that sight. The butterfly cannot resist its dangerous attraction to the flame, even if it results in death. Perfect, thank you. That was quite the exhaustive reply.
Hold it!
So, you have steel high heels. Yes, boy. See? Foxy's heels are always polished to sparkle. Wow, I can see myself in the reflection. They're like mirrors. Did you notice anything suspicious during the incident? Not really. I was busy having some tea at the time. You were having tea? Yeah, this is Britain. Mandated tea breaks. I made it for her. Tea with milk is just a thing for rainy afternoons. But weren't you supposed to be guarding the bell tower? I can't possibly walk around in the rain. My stilettos would get dirty. These lovely stilettos. Their tips as sharp as Inquisitor Burnham's sword. And when they grind against my armor with such force and passion, I'm the happiest man on earth. Would you like me to squish you under my stilettos? Just say the word. They missed a chance to call him Steel. Oh, you're right. They should have. That would have been the perfect pun. It's very unfortunate. I didn't even think of that. That would have been a great line. No, I'm fine, thanks. It's not every day someone offers to tread on you. Maybe it's a labyrinthian custom. I get walked all over in court often enough as it is. Why don't you volunteer, Maya?
Hold it!
I have no idea what you mean. You are such a hopeless man. Actually, all men are. Except you, I take it. Actually, no. You're bragging about how great it is to be walked over in high heels. So, no, never mind. You're included. Did you also dream of feeling that beautiful pointed tip on your first shoe brutally digging into your back? Do you, Nick? No. Anyway, you mentioned us. Are there more fans of Foxy's? Yeah, sure there are. Servius is one of us too. Yeah, I suspected he meant that guy. That look. You're not adverse to that sort of thing either, eh, Defender? What the fuck? In that case, have a look at this. This is the mark left by Foxy's stiletto. Huh. There's something odd about that mark. Wow, isn't that amazing? I must say, you've been quite beautifully charted on there. See how it exquisitely tapers to a point? This deserves to be called art. Oh, I'm so jealous, Servius. Such charming beauty, born from dirty mud. About that muddy footprint, why didn't you wash it off? What? Don't be silly. Have you ever exchanged a handshake with a beautiful singer? It's just like that. Anyway, Foxy was wearing high heels that whole time. That's an important point, I think. 2 important points, one might even say. Oh, you missed a lot, Jack. Boy, you came at quite the time.
Hold it!
This current interrogation's been something. You discovered the intruder? Can you tell me more about that? Is this... What? Excuse me? If you want to ask me something, just beep my name. Make fun of me, cause I'm a baron and I'll make you regret it. Oh, okay. Zbilchin Chuck Mill? Can you get it right, can ya? I'm not talking to you anymore. Oh, come on. Disability Chin Mill. Can you please tell us about what you know? This evening, during the incident, what did you see? Sir, I saw the witch's footprints as what I saw. Good job, Maya, but how? This Bill Shelton sounds kind of Mayan? You're thinking because her name's Maya that she's Mayan. Is that what we're going with here, Phoenix? This Bill Chin Mill, do you mean these footprints drawn in the sketch? Aye, those are the ones. And then, what did you do after discovering the intruder? Chief told me to put an intruder as right? Wait, who's Oh.
Hang on!
Oh, Chief has something to say about this. Excuse me, Mr. Boystrom?
Oh! What's this out of the blue? Have some respect for the vigilantes.
Refusing to talk to a prosecutor sounds illegal, at the very least an admission of guilt. Wait, who's refusing to talk to a prosecutor? Why are they not named even though they have names? Are you going to try and put this mill inside this little text box up here where the name goes? Because I'd love to see you try. Is there anything you'd like to comment on from Disby, from number 9's testimony? Look, even the judge doesn't know their names.
Comment? Ah, well, certainly. I remembered about his report.
Strange footprints appeared on the bell tower staircase. Why didn't you investigate as soon as it was reported to you?
We are the fast-footed vigilantes, the most dutiful of knights, giving our all for the utmost sense of accomplishment. It's unthinkable that we wouldn't launch an investigation after a report like that.
And yet, I don't recall any such report being passed on to the Inquisition.
That's right. I had my hands full with assigning tasks to each of the vigilantes myself. So I got hold of a reliable vigilante and gave him the following order. Investigate the suspicious footprints that appeared on this staircase. Immediately. That's what I said to him.
Who was that reliable vigilante?
Huh? It was... Well, I'm having a bit of trouble remembering just who it was. But I'm sure it was a young and high-spirited vigilante.
Hang on!
Was it you?
Can I ask you something, Mr. Shaky? Nick, don't! You can't expose that poor guy to your ruthless questioning. Just look at him. He may not be able to take it. How am I supposed to talk to him then? Let's try this again. Please, excuse me, Mr. Shaky. The person the captain asked to investigate the suspicious footprints, was that you, by any chance?
Yes. What? It was him?
I feel compelled to say this, but although Mr. Shaky may be young, very few would describe him as high-spirited.
Huh? What? That may be so, but... Well, what of it?
Mr. Shaky, did you not follow your orders? Didn't you investigate the footprints?
I investigated them, of course. Orders are orders. Everyone looked to be very busy, and no one would listen to me. Now, someone finally asked me about it. Vigilante Shaky, ready to report.
Is he, though? Can hardly report from the floor.
That was a very convoluted testimony. But at least now we know that this young man's report didn't reach anyone because the seniors were too busy to listen.
Yeah, people treat me like a ban. Did my report go to waste?
Ah, now I remember.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Yes, I saw them. I saw the bloody footprints in the bell tower. But I didn't report it to the chief. And now, I remember why I didn't. If that is the case, you will add it to your testimony. Yes, my lord. When I saw those muddy footprints, at first I figured they were Foxy's.
Hold it!
You thought the footprints were Miss Foxy's?
Yeah, she's always doing whatever she likes, causing us nothing but trouble.
Yeah, I don't know why Mr. Shaky's like in a fucking cast and sling and crutches and all that. He wasn't even there during the confrontation we had like a couple hours earlier.
I was sure she'd enter the bow tower to take shelter from the rain, leaving those footprints.
Excuse me, boy. How could you think that? That place is off limits, isn't it? I take orders seriously, and I value obedience.
Foxy, give us any orders you wish. We will obey you, whatever you require of us.
However, you told us a different story before, Mr. Lywood. You previously stated that when you saw the footprints, you thought they were those of a witch. Did you think that Miss Foxy was a witch?
Well, I didn't mean it literally, it's just that...
Foxy can be such a bother, you can't help but call her a witch sometimes. You can understand that, right? You can see what kind of a person she is. If that's the case, then the footprints you saw in the bell tower...
Must have looked like they were left by stilettos. Yeah, those stilettos. She likes to dig them into the other men's backs. There are men in this world who enjoy that sort of thing. Well, it's best not to think about it too much. We never mistake those footprints. Foxy's footprints are unique.
I would have thought that they were just Foxy's footprints. So that's why he didn't report his findings. In case you want to know, they weren't mine. I didn't leave those muddy footprints in the bell tower.
Now that's weird. Okay, where were we in this testimony? We're like on the little guy. Oh yeah, you.
Hold it!
Excuse me. I'm pretty sure we've met before. Mr. Wordsmith, was it?
Wordsmith? I must disappoint you, young one. I am not familiar with that unusually unusual name. Wordsmith. A smith of words? Would that not be the storyteller?
You mean you don't remember?
I do not. From where did this wordsmith come? To where did he head? And where will he next arrive? I know not. Regardless, such questions are of no concern to any of us. I am on a green field, sky-clad, watching petals dancing in the wind. Allow me to indulge in my dream for a while longer, young one.
You're not fooling anyone, Grandpa. Well, an awful lot must have happened to him since that other trial. Maybe, but just what the heck is the matter with all these vigilantes? Alright, now that I've heard their testimony, it's time to get thinking. There's just too many of them. I've never handled this many witnesses at once. It's gonna be a humongous undertaking to squeezing information out of this wacky bunch. In any case, the footprints left on the bell tower stairs are our best lead for now. Some of the witnesses saw them too. So, let's focus on that and press them hard until they cough up some more useful info. Yeah, that's the plan. If I can't refute the witnesses' testimony, it'll be the end for Isabella. I need to fish out decisive contradiction in their statements. Every time I hear someone in this game say storyteller, I instantly think of the Guilty Gear song Storyteller. Well, it's kinda, I mean, you know what though? The storyteller himself kinda does look like he might belong in Guilty Gear a little bit. I mean, from what little I've seen of Guilty Gear, I feel like he might fit in. It's mostly that mask. I think the mask is doing all the heavy lifting there. So we need to do something about these footprints. So the only real, like, clue that we have so far is that they look suspiciously similar to the footprints of this person over here. Steel stilettos get dirty from the mud and my lovely hair loses its texture. Now she claims that it wouldn't have been her because she doesn't like walking through mud. But I'm wondering if that's really the case here. I mean, I don't know. The sketch isn't like super accurate. It doesn't quite look like her stilettos. But this guy showed an example of them. Like if we press this guy again. Once he turns around here, I think it was him, or was it the other guy? Maybe it was the other guy that, like, brought them up. Never mind, I think this guy's just talking about a moth and thinks it's a butterfly. Okay, it's this guy over here then. We're gonna go hear his spiel again about how cool it is to get walked on. So do I need to like present on him about the footprint? Yeah. It looks very similar to the ones in the sketch. I mean, it doesn't quite. It has a bit more of a point to it compared to the sketch. But I'm wondering if that's like the correlation we're supposed to go with here. Okay, and now he's just talking about the footprint. Alright, so... But the only person that directly mentions the footprints is this guy? Yeah, apparently this guy saw the intruder, or he saw the footprints of the intruder. Is that what we're going with? Okay, there's got to be like an actual trick to this. Okay, let's go back around again. Just let me double check something here. Yeah, there's a lot of witnesses. It's gonna be probably the footprints. Some of the witnesses saw them too. Okay, well, we pressed all of them. The only thing that got added was that one testimony that was back here. I saw those muddy footprints. At first I figured they were Foxy's. Are we presenting on this?
Objection.
Okay, good. Oh, I was really worried we were gonna be here for a bit. Trying to think about, like, I mean, there's 10 different testimonies to go through. I don't think we've ever had a testimony this long before. You seem to be pretty sure the footprints in the bell tower were Miss Foxy's. In other words, the footprints you saw were stiletto footprints with pointy tips. Yeah, pointy. They were hers for sure. And yet, we have a sketch of the footprints as they were found after the incident. Oh, those footprints, they have rounded tips. So you see, Mr. Lywood, your testimony contradicts the evidence. No way. That sketch was drawn by the court illustrator based on how we found the crime scene immediately after the incident. I can guarantee that the sketch is accurate. Well, I saw what I saw. There's no way I was wrong. How can you say that? The reason is pretty simple. If I'd seen footprints like those in the sketch, it wouldn't have occurred to me that there might be Foxy's. Exactly. They are nothing like Foxy's. Sweet Foxy's footprints look like this. This is quite puzzling. Perhaps the defense can explain this contradiction. Only one trail of footprints is found in the bell tower. One of the witnesses claims the footprints had pointy tips, but the court illustrator sketch of the crime scene shows they were rounded. Is the witness's account correct, or is it the sketch that shows the truth? I'm gonna go with the Phoenix Wright-esque answer here, as usual. Both the witness and the sketch are correct, Your Honor. What? Two different types of footprints were observed in the bell tower. Now, if neither party is mistaken, it means that two trails of footprints were left on the stairs.
Objection!
It's so obvious I shouldn't have to mention it, but if you trust that the sketch presents the facts accurately, there was only one trail of those steps. You can see it quite clearly.
Objection.
See, you always know to pick, like, the really weird and, like, impossible option, because that's how you know it's the correct option. Actually, it's possible the sketch is showing two trails. And how would that be? Let's organize this evening's events on a timeline. Mr. Lywood discovered the footprints soon after the rain stopped. Which means that at that point, someone had already entered the bell tower. Right. Oh yeah, because Espella didn't enter until well after the rain stopped. Yes, that would seem to be the case.
The footprints that were observed then had pointy tips. And then, sometime later, another person went up those stairs. But that person left different footprints. Footprints that had rounded tips.
Oh, I think I can see where this is going.
I'm glad you follow, Your Honor. You see, the second person walked on the footprints that had already been left, perfectly covering them up as they went. What? This explains why only one trail of footprints was left. Preposterous. That's just a bit too far-fetched. What makes you say that?
Even we can tell you that much.
There's no way there were two intruders. It's a big stretch, honey. In the bunny and the witch was invisible. We would have seen the other one. What you're saying makes sense, but it's the fact that none of you noticed the second intruder. And the only explanation for that is that the second intruder was also a witch, who had also made herself invisible when she entered the bell tower.
What? What the heck?
Feels very convenient to have them step on the exact same spot as the other person. Well, yeah, but I mean, if we made that argument in half of these Phoenix Wright cases, it would blow Phoenix's proposals like way out of the water. Every single time.
Order! Order! There were two witches?
Ludicrous. Are you honestly suggesting that two witches managed to sneak into the bell tower? It may seem ludicrous to you, but you can't say it's not a possibility. His other famous argument. You can't disprove it! It's easy to bat around possibilities, but your theory alone doesn't change anything. Or perhaps you have some proof to support your little story? Because we do have proof that Isabella Cantabella was in fact in the bell tower at the time of the crime. Not only was she seen by the many people, but this was found at the crime scene afterwards too. Isabela's pendant, huh? If you think there was one more person in the bell tower, then prove it, defender.
Very well then. The defense shall present evidence. Do you have proof that someone other than the accused was in the bell tower?
Well, we found the robe. Was she wearing a robe? I thought she was wearing a robe. No, I guess she wasn't. This robe was always there. I think this is it.
Take that!
Oh, that's, what is it?
This robe was found at the top floor of the bell tower. As you can see, it's way too big for Isabella.
Yes, indeed. It would seem to belong to a much taller person.
Vigilantes, I'd like you all to confirm something for me. You have been guarding the bell tower ever since it appeared, correct?
Indeed we have, sir.
Had anyone ever gone up the bell tower before the incident this evening?
Of course not. What would be our purpose if we really allowed people inside?
Suspicious or not, sadly no one has ever approached our bell tower. I see. But then, how did this rope get up there? Do you get it now? There must have been a second witch in the bell tower. And then see, he always manages to do this too. Like, he presents like the most preposterous thing. It's just to soften him up, really. You know, bring out like the really absurd argument, but then bring it back, and then present something that actually is logical. Like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe it's ridiculous to think and unlikely that they walked on the exact same footprints. But then how do you explain this thing that was clearly found in the bell tower? This rope that Isabella couldn't have worn? Further proving that there were two people up there.
So there were two witches inside the tower?
Exactly, Your Honor. It's true that the defendant was seen in the bell tower at the time of the crime.
But if another witch was present too, it's impossible to say for sure that it was Mrs. Cantabella who summoned the fire dragon. And now we've sown the seeds of doubt.
Calm down, everyone! We must all let this defender confront our understanding of the situation.
It was the Great Witch Bezella that summoned the fire dragon.
I'm gonna expose you for what she is.
We've braved fierce rapids, scaled high mountains, and crossed vast plains to testify in this court and expose the Great Witch. What are they talking about? You'll know soon.
High Inquisitor Darklaw, permit us to testify again.
It's probably intentional to cover up that second witch was there.
You believe you can reveal the truth about the accused?
Yes, Lady Darklaw.
What, you think that the witch leaving her cloak at the crime scene was to cover up that the witch was at the crime scene? Wouldn't it have been better to just take the cloak with you? Like, I feel like if the cloak wasn't there, it would be a lot harder for Phoenix to prove or even postulate that there was a second witch. Like, that seems like a mistake on that witch's part.
We may just be a bunch of commoners, but we shall offer you our testimony with passion, purpose, and plausibility. Let us speak now, for the sake of Labyrinthia.
Oh man, for the sake of my sanity, please don't speak.
Permission granted. May your words be as sharp as swords. And cut through all lies and fallacy straight to the truth.
The storyteller finished speaking to the crowds at the town square in the evening. That's when the Great Witch appeared.
I still can't forget the sound of that terrible incantation. It was undoubtedly that girl's voice. We ran towards the tower as soon as we saw her, keeping our eyes on her to make sure she didn't escape.
We split into two groups at the entrance. One group to guard it, the other to chase down the witch. I was in the first group.
I was one of the sewers. I ran into the tower and caught the witch.
There was no one but us at the crime scene. We captured the girl. There is nowhere for anyone to hide there. There is no other witch, I'm sure of it.
I was gone in the entrance and the door locked.
That's right, young one. The fateful bell tower, the fateful incident. We saw them with our own fateful eyes.
Oh yeah, stepping on the other footprints? Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, it had to have been a deliberate thing. Like, the chances of that just happening because... the footprint thing happening just because? Very low.
Well, I suppose that can again be summed up by saying, you all did the best you could.
The vigilantes were the first to arrive at this crime scene. Their testimony is credible.
It does seem so. If what they say is indeed true, it would be decisive proof of the accused's guilt.
Our opponent is a witch. The Great Witch, to be exact. Things probably aren't as simple as they seem.
If you think so, feel free to look for any cracks in their testimony. If there are any. And if you're up to it.
Defender, you may begin the interrogation.
Hold it!
Shortly before sunset, there were lots of people in the town square, weren't there?
All the people were in the square. You read the contents of the story, didn't you?
Town's grand finale was kind of a big deal, huh?
What happened only several hours ago? A sight we'll never forget. The storyteller noticed the Great Witch first. She appeared at the bell tower, and she conjured a flame above her finger. The storyteller fixed his gaze on that flame. But it was already too late. The Great Witch uttered the incantation.
Grandworm.
Hold it!
And by that girl, you mean?
What a question. I'm in Espella Cantabella. Who else? She took her father's life with that fearsome word. Yeah, no doubt about it. That voice belonged to Espella Cantabella.
Fiendish voice. It even made me shudder a little. Oh yes, she shouted that dreadful incantation. Ignaze.
Wrong child, Grandpa. That wasn't even the same witch. Looks like they all remember her voice. Well, to be honest, I also think it was Espella's voice.
Maybe it's better not to dig too deep into this topic.
Hold it!
Were the vigilantes the first to arrive at the crime scene?
Of course. I was worried the Great Witch might escape us, so I never took my eyes off her until I reached the bell tower.
You didn't lose sight of her even once?
No. Even when I tripped on a pebble and fell down, I kept my eyes fixed on her.
You fell down.
It's dangerous to run without paying attention to where you're stepping. I saw my fellow vigilantes capture the Great Witch. That's when I tripped and fell.
It was impossible for someone else to have traded places with the person who summoned that fire dragon. Therefore, the Great Witch Basilica can be none other than Espella Cantabella.
Hold it!
Can you tell me which vigilantes were guarding the entrance?
It was me and Lord Lance. The rest of us went after the witch. Right, Lord Lance? Yeah, I think that's right. What about me? I was there with you. I was guarding the entrance with you.
Ah, yes. Now that I think about it, it was quite a scene.
Quite a scene. If you want to know more, why don't you ask the kid?
I'm fairly certain that I too was there guarding the entrance. Well, wherever I may have been, the winds that blow over plains will have blown just the same.
These guys aren't the best when it comes to teamwork.
Hold it!
You did it? You caught the witch.
It was as if in a daze. I too was in a daze. Then I seemed to fall and unconscious. When I came to, it seemed that I'd captured her.
That means you climbed the tower before anyone else.
Yes, that's correct.
Let me tell you, that guy's fastest among us. Runs at breakneck speed. The farm's very locked. I'm quite jealous of his feathery build.
I just don't know what to say.
Does he run with all that on, or is that a result of him trying to run up the stairs?
Hold it!
Are you sure there was no one else?
Very sure. There were only 2 people on the top floor.
Huh? Wait a second, you said 2?
Yes, 2. It was me and my sweet Foxy.
What?
I am in love. All my attention is directed at Foxy.
That's a weak excuse. There were several other vigilantes at the crime scene too, weren't there?
Yeah, probably. But that means nothing to me. To me, there is only Foxy. That's my romantic interpretation of events.
I wish you would testify about what you actually witnessed.
Hold it!
I can be sure there was nowhere to hide.
The whole city was watching the tower at the time. If the witch tried to climb down using a ladder or something, she would have been seen.
That's a fair point.
But we're talking about Bezella here. She could have become invisible and flown out of the bell tower, you know? It'd be child's play for Bezella since she can use any spell she wants.
Right. The Great Witch Bezella could have escaped with ease. And yet, this fellow is caught at the crime scene.
Hear that, Nick? That's further proof that there's no way of spell is Bezella, right?
It's hardly conclusive.
I mean,
if that was enough to convince everyone, we wouldn't be having this trial. But there's something in Foxy's testimony that keeps nagging at me. Is there really no place to hide? Can any evidence in the court record confirm that? Ooh. Is what a spell? Flying or... Well, we know turning invisible is a spell. I wouldn't be surprised if flying's a spell. Well, we saw some of the witches fly earlier in the game, didn't we? So it must be a spell. Oops. Oh my god. I'm trying to like make the text go faster. Fuck, it's one line. There we go. I was too impatient. A witch could have used magic to remain unseen.
sorry to disappoint you, but no one used any magic at that time.
What makes you so sure?
To cast a spell, a witch needs to say that spell's incantation. And we heard no incantations, nor any other suspicious noises.
Whoa! That seemed to have gotten the attention of several people.
Hang on!
Mr. Shaky? I didn't mean to startle you. Do you have anything to add to Mr. Treden's testimony? Yes, I think there was something, a strange noise. You actually heard something at the crime scene, and you say it was a strange noise. Yes. Hopefully this round of interrogation is over for his sake.
Look at what you did, Nick. That's just cruel.
What? I didn't do anything.
Can't remember if I heard anything odd when we were in the bell tower.
Excuse me, Mr. Shaky? Oh shit.
Looks like we're temporarily one witness down.
Let's give him a break. Maybe someone else heard of that noise. Number 8 said he didn't hear anything unusual. And it wasn't only Shaky that seemed to have a different opinion on that matter.
Let's question the other witnesses too.
There was like, what, 4 different people that heard something different?
Hold it!
Mr. Shaky's gonna be mad if I get into any fights. But he's the fastest one there. I think he'd probably win a fight. Right, because they didn't hear anything. Okay, so who was next after Shaky? You.
Hang on!
Excuse me, number 6?
Yeah, I'm sort of busy thinking about something right now.
What did you think about Mr. Treden's statement? Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Well, kind of. Just a thought I had. Treden saying that since he didn't hear the incantation, the witch didn't use magic, right? Yeah, she didn't, so she couldn't have turned invisible, see? That's some surprisingly good reasoning, especially coming from you. But couldn't she have simply cast the spell earlier? Huh? If she was invisible from the start, of course we wouldn't have heard the incantation.
Huh. You know? He's right. If there's 2 people in there, who's to say that the other person wasn't already in there and invisible as well?
My, aren't you the smart one, Servius? You took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking the same. Out of Foxy's mouth? Oh dear, I feel like I'm melting inside. Watch me bask in Foxy's love, Treadon. The envy, the jealousy, the chagrin. You make me suffer so, Foxy.
It was a noteworthy testimony. But this witness wasn't the only one that seemed to have something to say. Yeah, let's go question the others.
Hold it!
How many more were there? Like 2? Oh, yeah, there's 3, 4 people that had something to say.
Hang on!
Miss Foxy?
What? Would you like to ask Foxy a question, Defender Boy?
I'd like to know what you think about Mr. Treadon's testimony.
I have this little pet theory, you know? He's saying that since he didn't hear the incantation, the witch didn't cast a spell, no?
Yeah, she didn't, so she couldn't turn invisible, see?
Well, if that would make sense. But couldn't she have simply cast the spell earlier?
Ah, that's 2 people now that have brought it up.
If she's invisible from the start, of course we didn't hear that incantation. So I think you've made a fool of yourself, sweetie.
I have. It's just as you say. Oh, the public humiliation. Walk over me more. Let me be your doormat.
It looks like testimony went kind of off the rails there.
Tell me about it. Just leave them to themselves. And don't make eye contact. Okay, last one. Maybe the wordsmiths is gonna be the most insightful of them all. Somehow.
Hold it!
Alright, let's just skip back to that part.
Hang on!
Is this the one? Excuse me, Mr. Wordsmith?
I do not know anyone by that name.
Finally a game which matches Corey's personal preferences? What are you implying? Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, would you like to comment on Mr. Treadon's testimony? I see you have nothing to say. He's in Greenfield mode again.
Do not rush to conclusions, young one. I am on a green field, sky-clad, watching petals dancing in the wind.
Yep, I knew you'd say that.
And yet, a single shaft of light has shone through the dark abyss of my memory. I heard something in the bell tower when we went to apprehend the witch.
What did you hear? Was it an incantation?
No, it wasn't an incantation. Nevertheless, it sounded like a woman's voice.
Mr. Wordsmith, this is extremely important information. Please add this to your testimony.
Yes, I shall do that. It's best that I tell you about it now, before I forget again.
Oh, she doesn't look too happy.
As the defender requested, you may now testify about the sound you heard.
I recall hearing a woman's voice, a faint, delicate sobbing, no less.
Hold it!
You heard a woman sobbing?
Yes, sobbing, or perhaps wailing. She sounded a bit like hinges in need of some grease.
What if it actually was Hinges and not a girl?
Boy, his falsetto packs a serious punch. And there was another noise too. Clack. It was a pleasant sound, rather like that of wooden cogs in motion. Huh? And another sound. A clink clank of chains creaking. We've come a long way from the sound of a woman crying. I remember it now. Woman's scream. It was likely. On second thought, I heard it too. I remember a certain wailing, creaking noise falling through the air. And when did you hear it? We ran into the bell tower, and I think it was when we arrived at the entrance. Indeed, only the quickest of us got there in time to hear it. Mr. Wordsmith is a fast runner. Gotta be honest, Nick, never saw that coming. I think it might speak more for the slowness of the other vigilantes. Anyway, we got a new piece of info. The vigilantes heard some noises resembling machinery in the tower. I wonder what was making all those eeks and clicks and clanks. Was there any machinery up in that bell tower? Now's the perfect time to present something that may have some connection to those noises. Looks like they're all saying pretty much the same thing. But there was another witch in the bell tower. If only it was easier to prove. If the other witch used the invisibility spell, that would explain why no one saw her. No kidding. That's the whole point of invisibility after all. But just knowing that doesn't help me. I need more information to go on. I'm sure there was one more person, another witch, in the bell tower at the time of the incident, and I'm gonna find a way to prove it. Right. Let's keep our eyes peeled for any witnesses acting suspiciously. Alright, well I think we've gotten the information that we need here. Wow. Okay, so first you accuse me of liking getting stepped on, and now you're shitting on the great musician, the great bard of our time, Rick Astley. I just cannot believe this. It's slander tonight. Alright, so this guy regards the sound. I'm gonna give him some... maybe I'll jog his memory a little bit.
Objection!
Perhaps. Defense has a theory regarding the source of those strange sounds. It was most likely this. This mechanism is on the middle floor of the bell tower. That reminds me. There was some contraption up there unlike anything I'd seen before. That's right. That's right, Chief. Never touched it, though. How about we try operating that contraption to see what it does? We might just be able to reproduce the sound that Mr. Lauderlance heard at the crime scene. Right. You may be onto something. But it was I who testified about it before that young man. I talked about it, too. Well, you've got my curiosity. Let's see you set that contraption in motion. My lord, just leave it to me. I'm not saying that Rick Astley's unforgettable. I'm having problems with the fact that you're calling him dreadful and horrifying to the spirit. Can't believe this. Get ready, everyone. Perk up your ears. Oh my. That's pretty loud. How could anyone not hear that? That's it. That's the very same sound I heard. Oh, it is. That's what I heard as well. Yes, that's it. As you've all seen, or rather heard, it's clear that device was operating shortly after the incident.
Objection!
This doesn't change the fact that we know nothing about what that contraption does. Your demonstration hasn't led us to any valuable conclusions.
Inquisitor Darklaw has a point.
It's not like I don't have an idea what that machine was used for. But how should I go about proving it to the court? Guess I should confront Madame Butterfly over there about her testimony.
Seems we've wasted a lot of time over nothing. Defense, you may continue the interrogation.
So we gotta go back to her testimony, hey?
Hold it!
Nowhere for anyone to hide. I'm not so sure about that anymore. I think you'd be sure there was nowhere to hide. The whole city was watching the tower at the time. If the witch tried to climb down using a ladder or something, she would have been seen. That's a fair point. We're talking about Bazella here. She could have become invisible and flown out the bell tower, you know. It'd be child's play for Bazella, so she can use any spell she wants. Right, the Great Witch Bazella could have escaped with ease. And yet, Isabella was caught at the crime scene. Hear that, Nick? That's further proof that there's no way Isabella's Bazella, right? It's hardly conclusive. I mean, if that was enough to convince everyone, we wouldn't be having this trial. There's something in Fox's testimony that keeps nagging at me. Was there really no place to hide? Can any evidence in the court record confirm that? I think we might be able to whip up something here. Let me just save since it's been a little bit. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we have the contraption, which we've now tried, and it makes a lot of noise. But the other thing that we have here is there's one place that someone might be able to possibly hide. Your room that no one's been able to get to.
Objection!
The eyes of the whole town were on the bell tower, and the entrance was locked. Witches may be able to make themselves invisible, but they can't physically disappear. Which means it's not unreasonable to suggest that escaping from the bell tower was nearly impossible. However, hiding themselves after the incident is a different story.
That's a sketch of the bell tower, isn't it?
That's fascinating. Well, Defender, how about you show us? Enlighten us as to where exactly the witch could have hidden. I'm hoping clicking here is fine.
Got it!
She's hid here, of course, at the very top of the bell tower.
Objection!
It may seem like a plausible place to hide. However, that part of the bell tower is inaccessible to anyone. The stairs don't go up as far as the belfry.
Objection!
Remember our demonstration a little while ago? Demonstration? Are you referring to that silly contraption?
Objection!
That contraption serves a very specific function. The plan of the bell tower shows no stairs leading up to the belfry. Now, if you think about it in relation to the plan, it's obvious what this contraption is for. It's a mechanism enabling access up to the belfry.
What? Is that what it is?
You know what? You're right, Acoustic. I kind of did, like, jump to only one definition of dreadful. Probably because while I am aware that the word dreadful can be used in a positive manner, I don't really know anyone that uses it that way. I can't remember the last time I've seen it used in that fashion. So it didn't really, I don't really think of that word as being used in a positive way because I don't expect someone to use it in a positive way.
Order! Order!
Another witch was in the bell tower when the incident happened, and the reason she wasn't discovered is because she used a contraption to reach the belfry and hide up there.
Objection!
Historical meaning: awesome, awe-inspiring, causing feelings of reverence, sort of like the feeling you get when a woman steps on you. Oh, and what would you know about that? Are you implying you have first-hand experience with that? Because I don't. That's quite a bold claim to make if you don't have your own personal experience with it. Hold your horses, Defender. You seem oblivious to the contradiction you're reasoning. What do you mean? I'm talking about your little demonstration earlier. Yes, the device was set in motion and made some strange noises. And yet, that's all it did.
That's right. Nothing else happened. If it was a device for accessing the top of the tower, then why didn't it take us there?
Ergo, that contraption is of no relevance to this case. Which brings us back to my erstwhile conclusion that there was no other witch.
Objection!
It's too early to say that, High Inquisitor. And why is that? Sure, our demonstration didn't show it, but maybe the device didn't work because it wasn't used correctly.
What? Why do you think so?
My reasoning is simple. Let's just say it would be troublesome if just anyone could go up and sound that bell. So it's reasonable to assume that access to the belfry would be restricted. In other words, that a special key would be needed. A key? And I think I know just what that key is.
Before I ask you to present evidence, I'd like to summarize your theory. You believe that there was another witch in the bell tower at the time of the incident, and that this witch used a contraption within the bell tower to make her way up to the belfry and hide there.
Your theory rests solely upon that contraption. If it doesn't allow access to the belfry, then your reasoning is completely wrong. I'm sure you know what that would mean for Isabella. Your mistake would seal her fate.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Alright then, the defense shall prove its theory. Show us this key needed to operate the contraption in the bell tower.
Take that!
The key to the contraption is this pendant.
That belongs to the accused, doesn't it?
That's right. We found it at the crime scene. Now, if we take a look at the bottom part of this contraption, there's a depression here about the same size as the pendant.
Oh yes, I remember it. A hole in the shape of that pendant. But I don't get it. Why would that pendant be the key to the bell tower?
I don't know either. At least not for now. But the point is, it definitely is. With this pendant, we should be able to operate the contraption and access the belfry. Did I like Scarlet and FF7? Are we talking like old classic FF7 or remake FF7?
Well then, the court will grant the defense a chance to prove its assertion. However, you shall be given one chance only.
Aw shit, don't fuck up this puzzle.
Are you ready, Defender? Make sure you're prepared for the consequences of a mistake. This will be your only chance. If it doesn't work, that'll be the end of it.
Well then I better save then. Oh yeah, no, I remember her clearly from the remake series. She had like her personal soldier that was her footrest, and that was his only jump. Kind of felt bad for him, really. I'm not sure he liked it, honestly. It definitely didn't look like he enjoyed it. Not like these two. Yes, I'm ready. I've got to be right about this.
Good.
To be honest, this looks like a puzzle. Wish the professor was here. This is totally his field of expertise.
Are you ready, Nick? Should we give it a try?
Yeah, it's gotta work.
Isabel's fate depends on this.
Talk about pressure. I've gotta stay calm. Oh shit, a puzzle in the middle of court? Oh my god, look at this thing. 70? Oh no. Pendant light is reflected by the blue gems on the circumference of the gears of the machine. Each gear will rotate 90 degrees when turned. Rotate the gears to align the blue gems and redirect the light. The large central gem will only reflect light when in the vertical position, and when rotated, light must hit the red gems on either side at the same time. Okay, pendant light is reflected by the blue gems on the circumference of the gears of the machine. Each gear will rotate 90 degrees when turned. Rotate the gears to align the blue gems and redirect the light. Okay. I think I kind of see what we're doing here. Rotate the central gear so that light hits the gems on both sides simultaneously. Oh, okay, I see the red gems there. Yeah.
Okay, Nick. Let's give this thing a shot.
Oh, okay, it's just this. The description made it sound more complicated than it is, I think. Whoa, a beam of light. Of course, this must be the key.
The light's just egging to be pointed at one of those red gems.
You're right. Still, looks like there's some kind of trick to the whole thing.
A trick?
Yeah, think about it. There's 2 gems. I bet we have to light both of them simultaneously. Looks like we're gonna have to do it with only this single beam of light, too.
What? Are you sure we can pull that off?
I have no clue, but we've got no choice but to try. All we have to do is move the gears and bounce the light off those blue gems.
Alright. No time for the jitters, Nick. We've got to make this work. For Spella.
Okay, so we gotta bounce it like this. Somehow. That's one.
Did you see that? It lit up for like a second.
Yeah, it did, but that was only one gem.
What gives? Nothing's happening. What exactly did you expect? The gems must be lit simultaneously. But there's only one light. It's impossible. Indeed. Now then, I believe we have our answer. It is, as you say, impossible. Oh.
Wait a second. Let me just try one more time.
That will not be necessary. Your time is up. Or have you already forgotten? You are given only one chance to back up your claim. No way.
Ah, shit. It's over. Where can you split the beam of light? Yeah, I think that's the problem we're having here, is that there's no way to get 2 beams of light from that one pendant. But there's only one pendant slot, so it's not like we can get a second one. In the end, the defense has failed to prove its theory. The contraption cannot be operated with the pendant.
The pendant fit right into the mechanism. There's no way that's a coincidence, but still.
No matter how much I try, it seems impossible to direct the light at both gems simultaneously.
It seems your foolish experiment wasn't too much of a waste of time.
Huh?
While you were tinkering with that contraption, the accused had regained consciousness. Oh, Isabella.
Is she okay?
Well, despite seeming a bit confused, she's in better shape now. Although, I wouldn't describe her situation as okay. Quite the opposite, in fact. Don't tell me you've forgotten your agreement with the judge. You failed to prove your theory, and so the accused's fate had been decided.
There's nothing I can say to that.
Attendants, bring in the accused.
Is that a fail condition? No. That was scripted. There was no way to solve that puzzle at the time.
Accused, the trial has reached its conclusion in your absence. The court shall now announce its verdict.
The verdict. You are the Great Witch, and your true name is Bezella. This evening, a terrible crime took place. You killed your father, the storyteller, using the spell Grandworm. Does the accused have anything to say?
Yes, I am Bezella, the one that brought calamity upon this town. And my memories are proof of this. I remember the legendary fire in which this town was burned to the ground. And this day several hours ago, I summoned a fire dragon and took my own father's life. There is no doubt that the Great Witch is a part of me.
I understand.
Hold it!
I know the game is about to say it has to be a moonlit night. Well, I mean, it's nighttime. What, you saying it's not moonlit? Yeah, what if today was like the one new moon? It just happened to be the new moon and that's why it's not working? Can't postpone a trial to another night, unfortunately. No, Spella, you can't. Don't say that. You're under a spell. Don't give up just yet. Fool. What? You've been fighting a battle in this court. You have come here with your logic, finding contradictions to astound everyone. It was your battle, not hers. So how can you be telling her not to give up, when you have already dropped your sword? If you are a true knight of the court, you'll fight for your battle to the end. Why is she telling me this? Almost sounds like she's encouraging me. Is she waiting for something?
No, it's okay, Mr. Wright. Ever since I was little, I can only remember being all alone. But that's not really true. There were people who were dear to me and memories that I cherished.
Well, so they're outside right now. But in the tower, I mean, the tower's technically outside. It's like the floor that they were on in the tower was covered, but it was still part of the tower.
At least
where the mechanism was.
they were.
And they're not a tent here. This is an open air court.
They were taken from me the moment I became Bazella.
Poor Isabella.
Since then, I started working at Aunt Patty's bakery. I met Mr. Wright, Maya, Mr. Layton, and Luke. The four of you did all you could to help me. I am truly happy to have met you. But blame for the Great Witch's crimes rests solely on my shoulders. So let's put an end to this now. Bazella must not remain in this town. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
It's almost like she wants this. Spella.
Well then, it's time for the final verdict.
Think, Phoenix, think. Isn't there anything I can do? I just need something. Anything that could offer even a single glimmer of hope in this darkness of despair. There's gotta be something, right?
Objection!
Your Honor, please hold off with the verdict.
What's that, Defender?
It's too early to pass the final judgment on Spella. The Grand Grimoire has to have something about Grandworm, right? All it says is that it summons a dragon, and it was used during the Great Fire 100 years ago. That's the only information it has. It's still all the other magic rules apply to it. You need the stone. A normal witch would need the staff, but the Great Witch doesn't need a staff. They can just use the gem. And you need to say the incantation. So, typical magic rules up to this point. What? Explain yourself. You said earlier that the trial has reached its conclusion. But there's something we have yet to examine.
What are you suggesting?
Do you mean to say you have some new evidence?
But surely there can't possibly be any new evidence at this late stage.
Very well, Defender. We shall play along with you just one more time. Now, show us this evidence that we haven't yet seen. The new crucial piece of evidence is... there's only one place where it can be. It's in Ispella's possession. I have it. Saw it for a second. Something there that she shouldn't have. An item that contradicts with what we've heard. My gut feeling tells me that item is the key to this whole case. Most interesting. I shall enjoy watching you hopelessly struggle through this, like a fish caught in a net.
Now, Defender, show us this new evidence that the cursed supposedly has in her possession.
Espella, can I see that bracelet on your left hand?
Yes, certainly, if you'd like.
Oops, wrong button.
It's actually a pendant, you know. But the strap got torn somehow when I was up in the bell tower. That's why I've had it around my wrist since, well, just before the trial started.
But this pendant, it looks the exact same as the one we already have. Wait a minute! What's all this? We confiscated her pendant at the crime scene. Why is she wearing it now?
I don't get it. It's giving me a headache.
So I was right. I have another question about this pendant. Isabella, do you remember when exactly the strap broke?
I'm trying to remember, but no, I can't. I know it was still fine when we parted ways, but...
In other words, she has no memory of it. She doesn't remember when it broke or when she tied it to her wrist. That's certainly bizarre, I must say. Your pendant has already been submitted as evidence.
Objection!
I don't think that's her pendant. And yet, Isabella still has her pendant. That's a fact we can all attest to. Which means... there must have been 2 pendants to begin with. Really?
Objection!
Well, yeah, no shit. Please explain, Judge, as to why you think there can't be 2 pendants when we have one here in our hands and she has one there. Think back to 1st grade math, please, Judge. And please count the amount of pendants that you see in this courtroom.
So there are 2, and the accused was caught red-handed at the crime scene. Whether this pendant is hers or not, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. She was caught red-handed by us, the vigilantes.
This pendant proves something crucial to this case.
What can be more crucial than us catching her at the crime scene?
Second pendant wasn't dropped by Isabella. So, as the defense already suggested, one more person was at the crime scene.
What?
Surely this is enough to convince the court that there is 2 people.
Order! Order! Accused, search your pendant. Submit your pendant as evidence this instant.
Yes, my lord. Nick. If we have 2 pendants to work with, maybe we can see if that strange contraption will work this time.
Now it makes sense. That must be why it didn't work before. Your Honor, the defense would like to try opening the mechanism in the bell tower one more time.
What? Why now?
The contraption didn't work before because we only had 1 pendant. But both pendants are needed to operate it properly.
Foolishness! Try as many times as you like. It's no use. High Inquisitor Darklaw, you know this is a waste of time.
Bezella is probably Ispella's mom? That's an interesting theory. Is there a mind control spell or something? Not that we've seen in court. But, I mean, this is magic we're talking about. There's probably lots of spells we haven't seen yet.
If it's not going to work anyway, why not let the defender see for himself?
What?
Defender, if you think you can open the contraption with 2 pendants, then I suggest you go ahead and try it. Unless it has already dawned upon you that such a plan is futile.
The defense should be given one more chance to verify its theory about the aforementioned contraption. Let us now make our way to the bell tower.
This is going to be your last try.
I know.
Are you not terrified? The life of the accused rests in your shaky hands. We won't be having any more let me try again, please, your honors. Besides, you must be aware that this puzzle may well be unsolvable. I wouldn't have been able to solve a puzzle like this before arriving here at Labyrinthia. But now, I'm sure I can take on any puzzle. It's all thanks to you, Professor. You taught me that every puzzle has a solution. I have everything I need now. What do you say, Maya? Should we hurry up and get started? Sure thing. It's puzzle busting time. Where are Layton and Luke? They're off investigating, like, the Storyteller's Tower or something. We helped them get into the tower, and then we just kind of jump back to the trial, so hopefully we'll see them again at some point in the not too distant future. But I don't know if that'll be... Honestly, I don't know if that'll be this stream. I could be wrong, but that might be next stream. Alright, let's try this again. Now that we have the other pendant, now we can do 2 lasers. Wow, there was a second slot after all. Alright. Oh, there's the first one done. Let's see what we can do about the second one. Oh, no, that messes up that one. That doesn't quite reach it, okay. Oh? Well, that's one way to do it. Okay, there's only like one real position where the red laser gets reflected. So I'm gonna leave that top left gear alone, because I don't think that's useful at the moment. This middle one, though, is very suspicious in how it's being used here. I'm not really sure how to properly take advantage of this. Yeah, because that just reflects it, like, back that way. See, like, this position seems almost the right one. Okay, what? Actually, wait a second. If we can use this one like this, maybe this is better. Oh, okay, there we go. So we figured out that one. But that kind of leaves us without the second one. Yeah, now we can't do anything with the second one, so never mind. That's useless. And that just reflects it backwards, so that's no good. So I don't think this is really the position we want here. Maybe we do want to turn that middle one like that. And figure something else out with the side ones here. Okay, so this one here that I'm spinning now doesn't really have any good positions for it, except maybe this one, but that only does something. Oh no, we can do that. Never mind. Okay, that might actually work, because that was in a position we had earlier. But if we do that, then that just screws everything up, so maybe we will leave that alone. Can we... Well, how symmetrical is this? Because I'm just trying to look at this here, like... Okay, I guess the side gears are swapped on each side. But I have an idea. See if we can get this other laser to go in a similar direction. No, it's... Oh, there we go. Now I just gotta get this one to do something similar, which I think is possible. Okay, that's going that way, and then it comes back down around, and there we go. Wait, oh, I see. Oh. You have to, like, literally do it simultaneously, so I just had to kickstart it.
I await your verdict. This ace attorney just aced this puzzle.
Success! As the red gems shine with an intense light, the larger gem on the pillar begins to emit a glaring light. I'm sure I did it right. Nothing's happening. Oh, there's that noise again. This sound. Whoa. That's pretty fancy. Well, there's your elevator. And there's your stairs. What's this? What an astounding contraption! What do we have here? It's still no comparison to the incomparable astoundingness of Mother Nature. Oh, I'd like to climb up those stairs. I like being on the top. Of course you like being on the top. We shall escort you. I'm gonna stay. Okay, Nick. Let's go see what's upstairs. Well, there's certainly a bell up here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It is a bell tower. I think we all assumed there was a bell up here.
That's the bell that was taken from underground. The bell of ruin. The bell that must not be sounded.
Nick! There's someone hiding behind the bell!
You!
It's you! Now that's the last person I expected to find here. Miss Kira.
That's not like the third time that we've seen her. How did she get wrapped up in all of this? It's so quiet in here. There's not a sound to be heard. I guess we get to see what they're up to this chapter. I thought it wasn't until next chapter, so I was incorrect about that. Let's be very careful though, Luke. The puzzle we just dealt with is not necessarily the only one in place here. Right you are, Professor. Let's proceed with caution. That ends the trial? Well, I mean, we didn't get a verdict yet, so I don't really see how it could have ended the trial. I think we're just kind of jumping around here for a little bit. Is this what I think it is? Well, it looks like a lift. Indeed it does. It looks a lot like the kind of lift of which we are well acquainted. But we haven't seen anything else like this since we arrived in Labyrinthia. Yes, quite. In truth, I don't think machinery of this sort even existed here. I wonder what it's using as a source of power. Well, since there seems to be no other way up, does that mean we got to ride it? Indeed. It would seem the most logical course of action. I must say, I find the presence of such a device most intriguing. But we can't stand around pondering such things now. There will be time for that later. Onwards and upwards, my boy. Right then, let's go! I know I keep saying this, Luke, but bear in mind that we must proceed with caution. I'm with you on that one, Professor. They're not scared of taking an elevator like this? I would be terrified of this elevator. Professor, we stopped. What's going on here? Are we trapped? No, I don't believe so, Luke. Although I do get the feeling that something is about to happen. Something, Professor? What do you mean by something? Luke, stand close to me. Okay. Oh no, a puzzle is attacking! From all sides!
A stone statue stands before you. Beneath it lies a panel with what appears to have once been a crest of some kind, now a disjointed mess. Move the panels by touching arrows that connect them, and rearrange the pieces so that the crest is correctly displayed. Ah, a good old-fashioned slide puzzle. Wait, what did it say at the end? I didn't read the last bit. I should have. Oh, here we go. Touch arrows. Rearrange the piece to complete the quest. Be careful, as there is a limit to the amount of times you can move pieces. Oh, okay, we just got limited moves. Okay, so that's what the crest needs to look like in the top left there. So what do we have here? I'm just like seeing what exactly is all messed up. So this piece down here. Oh, okay, we can swap them. No, we're fine. There we go.
Let's see if I've proven myself.
The power of logic prevails.
Come what may, puzzles are there to be solved.
Correct. You can sense the approaching presence of a formidable foe in the shadows. Oh, we've started moving again. It would seem this entire lift is in itself another puzzle put in place. I don't believe we're in the clear just yet. This may take a while. How many possible puzzles could this storyteller throw at us? We've stopped again. Another stage of the puzzle. Indeed, that would appear to be the case. I'll take on this one, Professor. Alright, don't overexert yourself. We'll need to work together to solve the rest of this puzzle. Roger that. Well, another owl's coming out. Maybe it's one of those gargoyles this time. Oh, a dragon, I guess. They aren't really gargoyles. A stone statue stands before you. Beneath it lies a panel with what appears to have once been a crest of some kind. Now a disjointed mess. Yeah, we've heard all this before. 4 turns for this one, eh? Alright, what are we dealing with here? So it looks like... Wait, don't we just need to do that? Possibly? Wait. That's it. That's the entire puzzle. It was just like... It was all symmetrical. It's like the easiest thing in the world.
Skills. You should expect no less from a gentleman.
You've come a long way. Keep it up. I did it, Professor! You certainly did. Well done, Luke. But we're still not there yet, are we? Just how far is this lift going to take us? Well, judging by all the stages thus far, whoever put this puzzle in place is certainly keen that we don't reach the top easily. We still can't afford to let our guard down. I like how Luke took the credit for it when it was clearly a Layton puzzle. Like, Layton... Luke did nothing for that puzzle. He wasn't in the end of that puzzle. He didn't celebrate. But apparently Luke did it. We stopped again. Well then, allow me to take on this one. Just like you did for the last 3? Yeah, or last 2? Yeah, okay. Number 3, alright. 9 pieces this time. Okay, what are we looking at here? So that's the middle piece is the top right corner. Okay, let's go like that. That. I'm gonna go like this next. Yeah, and then we'll go like that. And then that. And then that one.
I
I've
That
already
third
seen
move
the
is probably
answer.
the most crucial. If you mess that up, the rest cannot be
You
solved.
should expect no less from a gentleman.
Excellent! Wait, was
That
excellent
was
spelled
an
incorrectly, or was I
exceedingly difficult puzzle.
seeing things?
The next stop must be our destination.
I think you're probably right, Luke.
Well, this is it, Professor.
Oh, you get a view of everything from up here. Even beyond the
It
walls.
seems we have arrived at last.
But I was told there wasn't anything beyond the walls. Well, except for the forest that we were in earlier, apparently. This very much reminds me of the ending portion of Curious Village. Although maybe a little more fantastical.
Wow, this is certainly different. There are flowers and plants everywhere. I can even see a water wheel over there.
It is a beautiful place.
This evening breeze is a little chilly. So, is this the storyteller's garden then?
I think that's probably a safe assumption, Luke. Judging by the abundance of water and rose bushes, it's being well taken care of.
By who?
I'd be inclined to say the tower seems more akin to a castle.
Who'd have imagined we'd end up in a beautiful place like this? Let's investigate.
Amazingly, it appears the structure was recently adorned with flowers and kept in rather good repair. I bet Espella must have had quite the comfortable life back when she used to live here. This building is really something else. I guess this part must be the storyteller's house. Spella must have lived here when she was younger. Yes, indeed. This must have been her family home. Her family? I wonder if she had any plans to ever come back here. No matter where she goes or what she does, family is family. This will always be her home. I'd say it's highly likely that she would wish to come back here someday. Well, I suppose so, even if her family was only the two of them. The relationship between Espella and her father may well prove to be an important clue. Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. Huh? What's the matter, Luke? Well, it's nothing. Oh, I'm probably seeing things, but for a moment there I thought I saw something moving at the top of the tower. Sorry. It must have just been my imagination. Let's go inside, Professor.
I'm sure she won't mind if we visit her room, right? She's not coming back here anytime soon. It's kind of thinking Rhythm Thief ending portion. Yeah, that too. But as we all know, Rhythm Thief was just copying the Layton formula. And if I ever do play through the Layton games again, you'll see just how much Rhythm Thief copied Layton. Like, just replace all the rhythm game stuff with Layton stuff. Like, you see a lot of it in this game, but like, there's definitely... I mean, I think, yeah, this came out technically after Rhythm Thief. But you just, like, go look at, like, some of the older Layton games, like the first three. This appears to be a child's room. Certainly the pit looks that way. From its condition, I'd say it hasn't been used for some time. Presumably, it was used by Espella as a child. Right, so this is where Espella grew up. Something pretty big must have happened to make her leave home so young. I wonder how Espella and the storyteller used to get on together. Espella is a young lady of strong conviction and a kind heart. I'm certain that's because she grew up with a fine home environment. In other words, I'm sure she and her father must have spent some quality time here together. Yeah, I have a feeling you're right about that. For Espella, this place must be full of precious memories. I must feel we're intruding coming in here like this. But Luke, we have no choice if we wish to save Espella. Yes, I suppose that's true. When you put it like that, I guess she wouldn't mind even if she knew.
Hey, look at all those stuffed animals and toys! Whoever made those stuffed animals appears to have put quite their heart and soul into the craftsmanship. Crikey! Professor! Behind that curtain, there's someone there. The mysterious figure turned out to be just a doll. Phew, that's a relief. My heart was in my mouth. Imagine these couple of gentlemen just casually strolling up to a bed and pulling back the curtain, knowing full well there's a person on the other side. Damn, can't believe these two. Speller must have played with this doll as a child. Eh? What's this? Look, Professor, there's a child's picture book here. The title is The First Story. It appeared to be a handmade children's picture book. I wonder if it was written especially for Speller. It may well have been. Evidently, a great deal of love and care has been put into the writing and illustrations. There was a bad witch in the town. All of the carrots in the field disappeared, and all the money in the bank was turned into pumpkins. The people of the town had to put up with all kinds of mischief from the witch. They didn't know what to do. Then, one day, a brave young girl appeared and said to the townsfolk, "When the witch uses witchcraft, she always uses a big stick, doesn't she? So if we take away her stick, we'll be able to stop her." After hearing this, the people of the town set a trap for the witch and managed to capture her. At her trial, the bad witch said this to the people. "Even now, the legendary Great Witch Bezella is living here in this town. Bezella is the queen of all the witches. She is the one who gives us witches life." The townsfolk punished the witch, and peace was restored to the town once more. To this day, Bezella is still hiding somewhere in the town. But the brave townsfolk will not be beaten by the bad witches. Would have thought there'd be a fairy tale about Bezella. She's a mysterious character, all right. Tell me, Luke, why do you think the author chose to write about Bezella in a children's picture book? Huh? Well, maybe to make the child behave? Or something like, if you don't do as you're told, Bezella will come and get you. Yes, indeed, that is a possibility. Still, I have to wonder, why is it that some lowly witch was caught and not the great Bezella herself? Well, I suppose it is a bit strange. If Bezella herself had been caught, the story could have been brought to a more conclusive ending. Do you think there's some other reason? It's certainly a possibility. I don't suppose there are any other handmade picture books in the room apart from this one. Handmade picture books? Well, I don't see any. Well, I guess that must be the only one. Which would imply this book has some special significance. Well, I guess so. Well, after all, it is handmade. I bet she really treasured it. Do you think it was the storyteller who wrote this book? The handwriting does seem very similar to that of the story. This book appears to have been written with a touch more care and attention, but I imagine it was the storyteller who wrote it. He must have written it as a gift from a father to daughter. That actually seems really thoughtful, even if the story itself is a little scary. Well, I'd like to take this book to a speller. Yes, let's do just that, Luke. You must take good care of it. Paintings on the wall certainly give this room a rather charming feel. It is a very nice room, though. What's this picture book doing here? I guess that's not like a handmade one. Let's check out her closet. I believe we've seen all there is to see here. Let's press on, Luke. Oh, that was the door they came through. Never mind. I thought that was like gonna be her closet or something. Like, it's just gonna be full of her deepest, darkest secrets. Isn't the child supposed to be the one with the messy room? What do you make of this room, Professor? Well, it's not very tidy. This appears to be the very top of the tower. The parchment line on the floor here seems very similar to the type on which the storyteller writes his stories. I think we can say with some certainty that this is the storyteller's room. Huh? This is the storyteller's room? I was imagining something a bit grander, like a throne room with all kinds of posh decorations. Well, I agree, it's a little eccentric. It's unmistakably that of the study of an author. He probably spent all his time in here, continuously writing these stories. The stories. I wonder what Espella thought of it all. The father writing stories for all the townsfolk, I mean. I wonder if she looked forward to seeing the new stories completed, or if she... The stories were probably a little too mature in content for a young child. I don't imagine the storyteller would have shown Espella many of them. Well, in that case, surely she couldn't have had many opportunities to even talk to her father, given how busy he was. Well, I guess that means she was pretty lonely. It must have been hard for her, even knowing how important the stories are for the people of the town. But I don't think it's right. No child should be unable to talk with their father. Absolutely agree, Luke. I believe it'll be important in the upcoming trial to have an understanding of Espella's feelings towards her father. Professor? When you, Luke, I'm sure you must have a lot of things on your mind at the moment. So if there's anything at all you want to talk about, you will tell me, won't you? Of course I will, Professor. I'm always ready to listen, Luke. Now then, shall we start investigating this room? Well, someone must be up here taking care of all this if there's a fish in the bowl. Papers are strewn about the floor. Strange. Doesn't appear as if they've been written on. There's a lot of hint coins in this room, despite the fact that we're close to the end of the game. When it looks at this room, it appears the storyteller is quite the talented artist. Something about this room makes me feel a lot like the professor's study. I feel like the professor's study is definitely a lot cleaner than this room, though. Is the story scary? Well, considering that the story involves people dying, getting executed in fire, and other such things, yeah, I would say it probably is pretty scary for, you know, like a small kid. Look, Professor, a photograph. What's a photograph? I don't think I've heard of one of those before. Wait, I don't think they even had photographs in this town. Have you guys heard of photographs? It's like some new thing someone invented in town. You sure they're not a witch? Indeed, it's not the kind of thing one would have expected to find here. Too right. I certainly haven't seen any cameras about since we got here. There's no doubt that this is a photo, though. What could that mean? This may be in some way related to the tower being so closely protected. What do you see in the photograph, Luke? There are two children, both young girls. The photo looks quite old, doesn't it? I wonder who they are. Well, one of them is surely Espella. There can be little doubt about that. Hey, you're right. And look at that pendant. It's the same one Espella always wears. The fact that she's continued to wear it ever since shows just how important that pendant must be to her. What about this other girl? Do you think she's a friend of Espella's? Indeed. I'd wager the two of them were rather close friends at that. They do look pretty chummy, all right. See, they even have the same pendant. A glimpse into Espella's past. This may well prove to be an important clue. I would like to ask her about it face to face. Let's borrow it for the time being. I wonder if there are any other clues knocking around. Well, I'd say that's something that you thought you saw it moving earlier is a point worth pursuing. What? Isn't this the last room in the tower? I must have just been imagining things. Not necessarily, Luke. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a way of getting beyond even this room. Let's look around more closely. What you are, Professor? A way out of this room, hey? Wow, there sure is quite a bit of light coming in through that stained glass window, huh? I wonder if this is actually the topmost part of the tower. But how do we go up? Is the question. Ah, this is... What is it, Luke? This letter on top of the piano. This was evidence during that trial. That trial, my boy? Yes, the trial about Sir Belduke's death. The trial when you were... Ah, you mean when I was turned to gold? In which case, this letter is the one that the storyteller's owl Hoot gave us after we last paid him a visit. Well, yes, it is, but that letter was completely blank, wasn't it? Indeed it was. That was meant to be Sir Belduke's suicide note, which he'd addressed to the storyteller. His suicide note, you say? But Sir Belduke's butler swapped the letter for some plain sheets of parchment before it got delivered. When those blank sheets were given to us by Mr. Hoot, who knew something was strange about them. I see. I certainly missed out on some intriguing developments during my absence. The real suicide note was revealed at the trial. But how has it ended up here? Well, I imagine that's quite simple, Luke. It's likely that after the trial finished, the letter was returned to its rightful owner. It was addressed to the storyteller, after all. Right, I guess that does make sense. Well, I suppose the storyteller finally had a chance to actually read it then. Yes. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that he most likely did so very recently, perhaps even today, while sitting at the piano. What on earth was going through his mind here before that final parade? There's something we're not seeing here. We need to investigate this closely, Luke. What could it be? Surely this is not a trap of some kind. It's unlikely that a trap would be so obvious. Just a moment. There's some kind of puzzle in this piano. Time to go into the deepest part of the puzzle. many ussies can we possibly go into today? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I said at the start of the stream, today's is probably going to be some revelations. Or was it the end of last stream? I think I said at the end of last stream that this stream was going to be where some of the big twists would happen. Below the stained glass window is written, "When the stars have aligned, the goddess shall pluck her harp, bringing forth her serene song. Rearrange the musical notes to create a lovely melody." Touch musical note and slide it to move it across the screen. Place musical note over the desired spot and release it to have the note switch places. Okay. Correctly align all the notes. What are we aligning them to? I need to see the animation again. Oh, they look like they were aligned to the staff. Are we aligning them? Oh, do we align them to like the dots on her? I guess. But not all the colors seem to match. Is it because like the blue and purple ones, is that like where the puzzle lies at the bottom of her? Or wait, am I just like... Oh, those notes up there are already in place. I'm just making these notes in place. Okay, I think that's what's going on here. I thought I was moving these dots, and now I realize I'm not. Okay, so we've got... I think the first blue one is a C. And it looks like the next one's going to be an E. No, this one's that one's a D. So D, E... Oh, fuck the spinning ones, though. I don't know what I'm doing with those. Something in the middle was definitely the high note here. So I'm going to put it there for now. That green one on the far right. Okay, that is 2 down. Wait, so that's this one. So D, E ends with a C. That one up there might be that one. It's like the G. Just want to see what the next one is. Okay, so that one's on the line, so that one's fine. Then I think it was the high note. And then what we have after that. I wish we could just, like, see them. Because it keeps spinning. It's like, there's no way in hell I'm going to try and align this while it's spinning. That's near impossible. Okay, so on the line, then that one, and then it was like something slightly lower, so I don't know, that one maybe? Just need like one more. Yeah, the fourth one was the highest. I just need like the fifth, sixth, and seventh. I need like one more shot at it. Okay, so line, space, above line, and then we know the bottom one. So I think this is correct.
Allow me to show you my puzzle-solving skills.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah, the joy of solving puzzles.
A loud bang rings through the air as the celestial globe adorning the ceiling begins to move.
Look, Professor! A stairway just appeared. Could there be another room above this one?
I have a feeling that the rooftop we saw from the garden continues above here.
Oh, I can see what you mean, Professor. It's really dark in here, but moonlight seems to be coming in from up above.
Well, there's no turning back now. The answer to the biggest mystery of all is surely waiting for us ahead.
Yeah, that puzzle did feel pretty basic, but it did feel in line for this game specifically. I still stand by my opinion that this specific Layton game is probably the easiest in the series. At least like out of the 4 that I've played, I would say this is the easiest one. The puzzles that have been worth like 30 Pickerats or something here, those would have been like 10 Pickerat puzzles back in like Curious Village and Diabolical Box. I don't know what the other 2 3DS Laytons are like, but in terms of difficulty. But this one game, I mean, I think this whole game is just on the easier side of things for both Layton and Wright.
I wonder what on earth it could be.
Like, even the trials don't feel as tricky as some of the ones that we've seen so far.
The next step in the storyteller's story, if I'm not mistaken.
The next step? But the story has already finished, hasn't it?
Not yet, Luke. It's still a little too soon for the ending.
Oh, look who's totally not dead.
I had a feeling that you, of all people, would make it this far.
It's you!
I thought so. You are still alive.
Professor Layton, I've had enough of your running around, flagrantly contravening the flow of my story. As such, I can no longer ignore your meddling.
Professor!
Oh, good, he left the sword for him. Oh wait, shit, Luke's gonna try. Oh no, she's gonna give Layton the sword. I thought like Luke was gonna swing it, because there's like this sick ass sword fight between like Layton and the villain of Diabolical Box near the end. That was like the best part. It wasn't interactive like this though. All that the storyteller writes is destined to come true. Your opponent's attacks are no exception. Memorize the storyteller's tale and deflect your opponent's predetermined moves. Enemy knights will appear in accordance with the storyteller's tale. Memorize the order of their attacks and deflect them using the knight's own moves against them. Touch the attacks, select the orders, touch them and see if you're correct. Okay.
I'm afraid your role in the story ends here, Professor. Now, allow me to write the tale of your demise. The knight drew his blade. As the battle came to a close, he raised his blade overhead and delivered the finishing blow.
So raise it overhead and deliver the finishing blow. Okay. Up, left. Wait. What? Shit. It was up, swipe, down, stab? Was that what it was? I think that's what it was. It was an overhead slash first. Was it down and then stab, or was it stab and then down? Overhead was last? Okay, thank you. So it was like this then. Because he definitely swung it, like, he did the jumping slash first, and then he did a side slash. I just can't remember if it was the stab or the vertical slice. The jumping one was last? Oh, okay. So then that means it was this one first, this one, this one, this one? Like that? I was like only half paying attention because I wasn't sure what it was going to show. So I wasn't ready for it. Yep, okay, cool, thank you. I was just like paying attention to the text. I wasn't thinking that the visual was going to have like extra details that the text didn't.
Well played, Professor. But how will you fail in this tragic tale? A new knight stepped in for his fallen comrade. He slashed quickly, delivering 3 blows before finishing the battle with a 3-hit combination attack.
Okay, gotta pay attention this time. Spin, over, slide, side, over, spin, spin, over, side, side, over, okay. Spin, over, side, side, over, spin. Yes. Perfect.
Think you worked it out, do you? Let us see if you can predict the ending of this final chapter. The final knight drew his sword. As he attacked, he began to vanish into thin air. His movements veiled in the embrace of the shadows.
Oh shit. Over, spin, oh, stab, side, over. Well, over, spin, stab, side, over, jump. He didn't jump before the last one, right? I think that's correct. It was over, spin, stab, then the slash makes sense. Yeah, we never saw him do a jump, so that means it has to be the last one. Because remember, he turned invisible, so we didn't get to see. Yeah, there we go. We only got to see 5 of his moves because he turned invisible before the last.
My puzzle-solving skills. That was indeed an intriguing puzzle.
Marvelous! In this case, it would seem that the pen is not stronger than the sword.
Professor, behind you!
It's shit like this. You know, you ever seen people like predict like, man, Layton should be in Smash Brothers? It's because of scenes like this why people think that. I don't know how well he would work as a character, but I guess it's plausible.
Professor!
I mean, nobody thought that Phoenix Wright would make a good fighting game character.
Well, now, that was close.
Yeah!
Storyteller.
How would any of his puzzle elements break? I know, that's the problem.
Is no longer absolute.
Like, you would get all the cool sword stuff maybe, but like, how do
never
you...
failed to impress me, Professor Layton.
How is that not just a Fire Emblem character in a top hat? Right?
Just tell me one thing. What exactly are you trying to achieve?
You could say, I'm trying to lift the veil that hangs over the town.
If that is indeed the case, the answer lies in the final story. This very evening, the great witch Bazella will be tried, and all stories will end. You should take your place in the gallery and observe the final trial.
Permit me, if I may, to ask you a question, Mr. Storyteller. Why is it that you are here?
What?
You too should be watching in the gallery, watching as your twisted story unfolds.
My twisted story? What do you mean by that?
You must surely be aware that your story has already become twisted. Take our arrival in this town, for instance. Not to mention our being here at this very moment. Neither of these things could have happened in the story you wrote. In other words, what I'm saying is that you are no longer the weaver of the tale.
It is as you say. The story I crafted has indeed been twisted out of proportion by someone else's actions. I'm not surprised that you realize. It seems nothing passes by those sharp eyes unnoticed. That is exactly why I decided to write the grand finale, to prevent any further distortion. Do you mean to suggest that by ending the story you could return this town to its original state? To its original state, you say? I'm afraid that is not the case. The entire truth behind Labyrinthia is sealed by a single spell. That's right, the final spell. The final spell, you say? When that spell is invoked, Labyrinthia's true form will become clear to all. What kind of spell is that? Hello, a Fluffy Cat Jr., welcome. How's it going? This is a spell that has always been hidden within plain view. What's that supposed to mean? Essentially, the final spell is concealed at the start. The final spell is concealed at the start? What on earth are you talking about? Why, but you two took it upon yourselves to unravel mysteries, do you not? Do what you will with it. Very well. Now then, I believe there's just one more thing that you may wish to hear from me. What would that be? Firstly, what would you say if I told you that this twisting of your story is leading towards a grand finale quite different than the one you had planned? What do you mean? This evening, you supposedly gave up your life to the great witch Bazella, did you not? As a result, the person thought to be Bazella is being tried in court at this very moment. Now, if you'll permit me to ask, do you happen to know the name of the accused? Naturally, I wrote the name myself. There can be no question. Of course, the name of the accused is... Isabella Cantabella. What are you saying? You mean my Isabella is... Yes, the accused at this evening's trial is none other than Isabella Cantabella. That can't be! That's preposterous! This is your doing. What have you done, Layton? You ask me what I've done, Mr. Storyteller. I am but a solver of puzzles and mysteries. I do not concern myself with scheming. My Isabella. Why, how is she the accused? Perhaps you ought to go and see for yourself, Mr. Storyteller. Do you think it's a good idea to just stand here lamenting your daughter's fate? What's to be done? Does he not have the power to just be like, stop the trial? She is not the Great Witch. And then they just like believe him? Since, you know, he's the storyteller? Forget the fact that he's gonna appear to have been resurrected or something like that, but he's basically God anyways to these people. If you don't want your daughter to be burned at the stake,
Just go and stop it. Who gives a shit about coming back to life?
Well, Mr. Storyteller, I will be returning to the court. I'd like to witness this grand finale with my own eyes. Ah, yes. Before I leave, there is just one thing I'd like to make clear. I do not intend to simply take my place in the gallery and observe the trial. Naturally, there is only one place for me to stand in order to unravel all of these mysteries.
You mean to say that you will stand as the defender?
Unfortunately, the defender's position is already taken. Moreover, Mr. Storyteller, I am the one who knows the truth. The true identity of the Great Witch Bezella, that is.
See, I think it would have been kind of cool in this game if the roles were reversed for this final section. Like, if Phoenix and Maya got to go and do the final puzzle gauntlet and get all these revelations, and Layton was the one that got to be the defender for the final trial. Just to really mix things up, you know? Let Layton have one court case to himself with Luke at his side. I think that would have been really cool to see.
How can you know?
There's only one place at which I should stand in order to assert such a fact, and that is not on the side of the defense.
Surely you can't mean...
I anticipate seeing you again soon, Mr. Storyteller.
Surprised that they didn't completely mess with the roles. Yeah, I think it would have been nice to see a little more of that, but you might also still be surprised at what's to come in Chapter 9. The final chapter, which I will be saving for next time. We will be saving the finale. One last stream of this. I know that's like a terrible place to stop it, but it's only appropriate. Chapter 9 is technically not the end. There's an epilogue, but the epilogue is just dialogue. It's only a separate chapter in name. Chapter 9 is the final, like, main chapter. We will be seeing the ending next stream of this. But main reason I'm saving it, I mean, not aside from the fact that it's almost midnight anyways, so I'd rather not try and do the final chapter in the next, like, hour or so. But it also because I was planning, my original plan was if we can stretch it out one more stream, then we'll be able to start Miles Edgeworth Investigations 1 the Tuesday afterwards, since I will not be streaming next Tuesday, like 7 days from now kind of Tuesday. So it'll work out perfectly. We'll be able to finish the game and then immediately go into the next entry in the series. So a couple of reasons. I mean, I think we should still be able to fully get a full stream of it. So don't worry, we've got more than enough content for it. We have like the second half of the trial. We have the ending of the game. We're gonna learn exactly why Espella was accused of a witch for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, even the storyteller is agreeing with us. Like, why the fuck is Espella here? Wait, she's not supposed to be there. He was so confident in his story, he forgot to actually, you know, do a little spell check. Get an editor to check over his work. The best place to stop for a cliffhanger, exactly. I hate stopping for cliffhangers. I always feel bad about it, but at the same time, you know, I do like me a good cliffhanger. So, it's a necessary evil, and I think it'll work out a lot better. Mainly because I don't know what I would do for like 2 Tuesdays. It's like I can't really start another game that's not Layton while we wait for, I can't, sorry, Phoenix Wright. I can't start like Apollo Justice because Investigations is like coming out in a couple of weeks here. So I figure I may as well try and draw it out for that. Makes more sense. So we're gonna stop here. One more Professor Layton Phoenix Wright stream, and we can finish off the game. I'm looking forward to seeing the ending again, because I remember a lot of it, but I don't remember all of the details. Although some of it's starting to come back to me after seeing some of the things that we've picked up here. Some very important items that will be coming very relevant very soon. Maybe some people have already started connecting the dots after seeing that photograph specifically. But thank you all for watching tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed. I will not be streaming this next week. In fact, I don't really know how many streams there will be next week. There definitely won't be a Monday stream. There definitely won't be a Tuesday stream. There may not be a Wednesday stream either, unfortunately. But there will be a stream tomorrow, and there will be a stream this Friday. So we'll have a new rhythm game, a one-off rhythm game playthrough tomorrow, and then the usual Minecraft on Friday. And then next week will be whatever streams are able to happen once I get back from my trip. So, thanks for watching tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you next time.